You want a piece of me, boy?
Nuclear launch detected.
Welcome back, everybody. You're watching Nation Wars 4, and it's going to be Mexico against Poland in the winner's match. And I'm pretty depressed.
Yeah, that's right. I feel a little bad. I also predicted Mexico to win. I think the
Are you
score
happy?
right.
Are you happy?
I'm a little happy. I like being correct sometimes. But I had faith in a Major, and it ended up really pulling through. He got used to Drogo, and then he just... well, I'd actually say that Drogo's probably feeling pretty bad right now. I would say that last game was probably his. Attacking those Liberators is not the greatest idea, but oh well. As the French say, c'est la vie. Yeah?
I don't think that's what we're saying right now.
Okay. Well, I still have the losers
More like
bracket,
Sacre
of
Bleu.
course. Ah, of course. I think I was going to say my French teacher taught me a curse word, but maybe I won't say that on stream. So.
Hey, that's a good matchup, though. Poland against Mexico, like both of these teams just played very well. We've got the map order.
Yeah. Overgrowth, I believe, is...
Yeah, I was like, what's OVG? Like
OVG is not usually
I got no brain.
abbreviation that I've seen for overgrowth. But.
Overgrowth first. I wonder who they would sense. Any prediction?
No, I actually can't even think right now. Poland versus Mexico. I mean,
Major's pretty warm right now. He's
right.
doing
I was
well.
gonna say, continue sending out the person that is already kind of on fire. Seems to be usually a pretty good idea, but yesterday we didn't actually see that for Canada. Scarlett lets others go first. Maybe Major wants to test the waters, see what race he's going to be facing first. Because of course, there's Zerg and Protoss for Poland.
Oh, we almost all agree here. 4-2, 4-2, and 4-3 for Poland, and then. Somebody thinks Mexico is going to take first place in this group.
Somebody believes that's the trend so far. That's the.
Did you predict the score right as well?
For last time?
Yeah.
No, I said a 4-2 for Mexico. I really thought Major would have it, but.
ZG.
Oh well. What?
So
What?
sick. You come here, you're our guest, and you predict against Red Lights. Okay. It's
well,
okay,
I think France will take second. Obviously, I just think Mexico takes first.
All right, so let's not wait any longer. Let's head to the interview area. Actually, first, let's remind you guys of these amazing lineups. And we've got Nurture, Mana, and Laser on Team Poland, 2 Zergs and 1 Protoss. Why does it feel like wherever I move, Mana's eyes follow me?
Because it's the magic of Mana, actually. It's the way that it goes. I do love his pictures, and I love his stare. I think he actually made an emote on his channel after his stare, but yeah, 2 Zergs, 1 Protoss. I mean, I think obviously Major's a little bit warmed up against Protoss, and his TVZ is usually pretty good too. I would actually find it very difficult to find a Terran who will willingly admits that their TVZ is like bad. It's usually just something that like, yeah, Terran? Yeah, I heard he's good against Zerg. It's kind of like the thing you always say, but the Zergs in this case are Nurture and a Laser. I don't know if Major can take out both of them and then maybe more than once as well.
Yeah, Nurture has been pretty incredible against Terran for a while now. Like maybe not as much recently, but for some time he was like the guy that just wouldn't lose against Terran. And then on the Mexican team, we've got the 2 Zergs, Team Rising and Cham and Major, the carry, so to speak.
Yeah, for sure. So 2 Zergs and a Terran for this team. I mean, a couple of ZVZs can certainly happen, and I guess I could see that maybe going well for, I would say maybe like Cham versus Zerg seems to have a pretty good win rates lately, and maybe like if a Laser comes out first, I actually think that Cham could take on a Laser. I don't know about Nurtio, and of course Mana, I guess, had some pretty okay-looking Protoss as well, but I really believe in this team, man. Like, I really think that Major can carry, as we said, but I also think that the other 2 players can well, help him out, I suppose.
All right, guys, make sure to get on Twitter and hashtag PaulWin and MaxWin to let us know who you think is going to take this, and we'll be giving you live updates of how it's going. Without waiting any further, let's go to the interview area where we're going to find out who the 2 first players are from both teams.
Thank you, Todd. I'm actually feeling a little down right now with France losing and being in the losers bracket. But this is not over. We will fight back. And for now, we will hear from the captains that actually managed to win today. Mexico and Poland are the captains here with us. Not yet, I believe. I don't hear Iromi in my ear, so I'm not really sure. Okay, in 5 seconds they will be here. Roddy, what did you think about that best of 7?
I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was very fun, a lot of nice back and forth games. I thought Drogo played great, and obviously Major played fantastic. It was just fun to watch. I mean, it's not over yet, so you guys shouldn't be too down. It was a great nation war.
Yeah, it was. But we will see if we can see even better games in Mexico versus Poland, and I believe now the captains are with us.
I want to hear some words from King Arthur.
Oh, yeah.
How he experienced the games of his throne. All right, so we got Nurture and Jim Rising on the call. Arthur, let's start off with you. What did you think of your team's performance, and are we going to see Guru in action?
Unfortunately not, because he's not here for some reason. Okay. I really wanted to exchange Elaser because, well, we are pretty disappointed in his results. But, well, that's too bad. We have to keep him for now.
All right, so he's going to get another shot at redemption.
Yeah, and Mana is, coming back to his great performance from 2012, so that's great.
You're the worst captain ever, Nurture. I don't even know what to do.
Why did you choose him to be the captain? I don't know. It's just being hateful on the other players. No, you guys did really well in your first game. Obviously, it wasn't that hard. On the opposite side, Jim Rising, you guys had quite some trouble to go and beat Drogo 2 times, but you did it in the end, 4-3. First of all, congratulations. And do you think that you can do better in ZVZ, for instance, you yourself, Jim Rising, against Poland than you did against France?
Yeah, as I told Rotterdam, we were very worried about Petit Drogo. So, yeah, he was a very, very difficult opponent, but Mayor carry us. So now we are versus Poland. I think we are more confident about our CBC. Our job is to snipe Nurture and Elaser, and then Mayor finish the job. So let's see if we can.
How did you feel about your own game, Jim? Because even though you lost, I felt you played a very good game. It was a very fun game on Daybreak. Looking back at it, how do you rate your own performance?
I almost do it. I did little mistakes, not defending well the pressure with 3 Archons and Zealots. I lost like 20 workers. I think if I just defended better, I could win easily. But Petit Drogo did a very good job hiding the prison.
All right. Since, obviously in Poland, Nurture and Elaser, they obviously played a lot against each other, so it's quite normal that the ZVZ is strong by default. But at the same time, it goes for you a little bit in Mexico as well, as you went up against Chem quite a few times. Do you feel that ZVZ is a matchup where you can excel because you have played so many times against Chem in the past?
I don't know. I think my best matchup right now is CBT, but my CBC is okay, I think. I have a lot of practice versus Cham, as you say, so I'm confident.
All right.
Nerchio, they just mentioned that they were trying to snipe you guys out. You Zerg's player in the Polish team, Nerchio and Elaser. Are you any afraid of this, or are you gonna try to out meme them and send Mana as a first player or something like that?
Well, I can't tell you yet, unless you ask me who's going to be the first player. But
that wasn't my question. Are you afraid of those ZVZ snipers then from Mexico?
I think Rotterdam said it on stream already that, in Europe, and especially in Poland, we have the best Zergs, let's say outside of Korea. So we practice ZVZ all the time with Snoot as well, in tournaments, for example. So, I don't think we should be afraid of that. On the other hand, ZVZ is a random matchup up to some point. So, I can't say we're confident 100%, but we're both good with Elaser and ZVZ, so I don't think we should be afraid as well.
I have one last question for you, Arthur. Since you seem to rule the team with an iron fist, are you not afraid that they might start a revolution and vote you out?
No, I think they're pretty happy with how it's going right now.
Okay.
Good for you. Well, then, Nerchio, now you can actually tell us who's going to be the first player for Poland.
Same player, Elaser. Feeling very confident.
All right, and no Guru stuff, if he loses a game, who does he get replaced with?
Well, I wanted to send Guru first, but he's not here, so maybe next match and when we come to Paris.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And Jim? Who's going to be the first player for Mexico?
Jim. Me.
Okay. Okay. All right. Sounds pretty cool. Thank you guys so much for the interview,
Thank
and
you.
good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think it's going to be a tough one for Jim, but it would be an amazing victory for him. He did look really good against Drogo. I mean that, like he said as well, a couple of minor fixes, and maybe it could have been a different result. I think this ZVZ is going to be very hard, but recently, like I said, I did see Cham defeat Elaser. It was an online tournament. It was played on the NA server. I do think it's important that I add that, but I still think that means something, so perhaps it's possible for Jim.
Yeah, I would say like not an easy game, like not an easy best of 7 whatsoever for Poland, even though they are pretty clearly the favorites here. But let's not wait any longer. Let's go and start those games, guys. Take it away.
Thank you very much, guys. Let's get ready here for some ZVZ action. Your favorite?
My favorite. Your favorite. You love this?
How do you know?
I don't know. It's good Chriser. I don't know.
Good matchup, I guess, between these two. Horus tweeting more at us. This is the exact same photoshopping skills.
Exactly.
They haven't improved since the last one. That I'm still loving it.
Yeah, I like the theme that he has going on.
Viva la Mexico!
Yeah, exactly. Victory taco. Makes sense. Yeah.
Don't lie, you were gonna eat that if they won or lost. Tacos are delicious. We were in Mexico recently for WCS Copa Intercontinental. I feel like you haven't had Mexican food until you've gone to Mexico. It's actually unreal good.
Okay, that probably makes sense.
It's
Actually,
so
I don't even
good.
like Mexican food, so I'm usually like called out and like a blasphemer and whatnot. So maybe I just gotta go to Mexico and have some real Mexican food.
Yeah. Overgrowth, our first map here for the ZVZ, on which if Roddy was here, it reminds us that they win 50% of games.
Yes, he was so daring as to do math on stream. It was quite amazing. But yeah, the ZVZ is going to be, I think, interesting just because we did see a laser go down to take a loss from Raynor. And we didn't expect it, right? So I think that Jim Rising has some of the same potential. And here we are. It's the start of a brand new best of 7. In the top right has the blue Zerg. He is Jim Rising.
And his opponents playing as the red Zerg, it's of course Elaser. Playing for Team Poland. It seems like he may have been struggling a little bit more with ZVZ recently with his loss to Raynor, but not too long ago he was doing very well in the matchup. He beat Nurcho in the finals of the WESG qualifier for that European qualifier. He did lose in the grand finals of that very European finals to Nurcho in a rematch. But over at BlizzCon, he had some pretty good results in it as well. Beat Solar, I think it was.
I don't recall, but I wouldn't doubt it, right? Like, I think it's absolutely true. If you're in Europe in general, like, you're going to have a lot of ZVZ, as they're talking about playing between the two, and a lot of online cups as well as just Poland in general. I think their ZVZ is going to be fantastic, and even maybe if, like, the scores, their stats actually say maybe it's a little bit on the weaker side, it's probably because they're facing so many good Zergs. So it's certainly a task for Jim Rising. I think maybe some of the reason a laser lost that game versus Raynor was certainly maybe a confidence issue, you know, droning because you feel safe against this player that's like is not too scary instead of actually making lings and suddenly, you know, you're dead in a ZVZ. I'm not sure he's going to be making the same mistake, especially since he was about to be booted out and replaced with Guru. He's got to make sure to keep his spot.
I actually wonder if there is any truth to this. Like, I feel like, obviously, like, Nurcho's joking, right? Like,
Question mark? I don't know. To be honest, like, Guru has some pretty good ZVZ as well.
Yeah.
So, actually wouldn't be too bad of a trade. But this is a fairly early Baneliness. Of course, he went for the pull first and the gas as well. So his speed is like, it looks like 20 seconds, maybe 15 seconds ahead here. He could be very aggressive against Jim Rising.
yeah, this may be just for safety as well, though.
Yeah.
Like, I think if you're a laser, you should be very confident in your macro, and mostly, I think, look and try just to make sure you don't die too early on aggressions. Because if you can take it to the later stages of the game, I think you're going to be fine as somebody like a laser in a matchup like this.
Yeah. And the neat thing about ZVZ, though, is that as you use your army, especially when it comes to the Ling Wars, it gives you so much like intel that actually sometimes provide an even safer game for you, since it can tell you everything about what you need to know to drone behind your aggression. So it's really a question of how much does a laser dedicate to this. He sees the third base was already taken, though, so I gotta imagine he actually wants to do a bit of damage. But
Yeah.
it goes back to droning.
Jim Rising took a massive gamble. He stopped mining gas for a little bit. He's mining only a little bit of it. And he skipped the Baning Nest. So he's actually going to go just pure massling to try and defend the assault that's going to be coming for him.
I don't think it's impossible, especially since the laser went right back into droning after. It is a question, though, of being surprised with these two Banelings that were formed up to the left side. He sees them and does split off a Ling to deal with it. Only losing 2 drones so far, taking some okay hits, but this actually might have been a mistake. Jim Rising just sends his Lings across the map, but maybe not. The reinforcements clean up the Lings from a laser. Does he have any more on the way here? He's a spine crawl on the way, but it's a bit late.
And behind this, Jim Rising is getting so many Zerglings. He's going to get a full surround on one of those Queens here around the ramp.
Very nicely done. He's going to get into that main base as well. Not too many Lings here. They can actually start focus firing the drones if they would want. A couple of them are kind of low, but more Lings come in. They don't bother with the natural. I think that spine crawler is still not done. And a laser finds himself in a close predicament to when he was facing Raynor. Just Lings flooding in here, and you're not really having an answer. Not yet.
Yeah, Laser needs to hold on. He's already lost a couple drones. If he loses a few more, he's going to be up against the Jim Rising on 3 hatcheries across 3 bases already. Baning Nest now finally goes down for Jim Rising, and Nurture is somewhere right now trying to find the phone number of Guru to call him to the rescue.
I'm not sure if it's quite that close yet. Jim Rising, while he had a moment right there to do some significant damage, only ended up getting 3 drones, and most importantly wasn't droning behind all of that, only just back into it, so he doesn't really have that much of an economic lead despite looking very scary for like 30 seconds right there.
Yeah, Walker counts about even now. Army supplies as well. But just such an earlier third base here for Jim Rising, which by the look of things, Forno is going to be getting away with. Can't lose these drones though.
Yeah. That third base would be significant. It's not really mining, of course, not with this many drones, and there's not a queen over there producing larvae on it, but
that's really
very
sick.
Nice. That's a cancel. Loses minerals, loses the drones, and of course still losing more time.
Oh!
More
Wow.
time on
Really?
that third base. That's unfortunate. That queen still doesn't go down, though, so I guess it's neither here nor there. Jim Rising gets a roach run right here. Okay, he's going to continue droning. We may just go into a situation with it when it is roach versus roach, unless Jim Rising cuts it at drones here. He might actually do an aggressive maneuver. A laser plops on his own roach runner at the same time, but yeah, it's going to be a problem with that much later third.
Yeah. Jim Rising, earlier third, earlier roach warren. Does he do something with it? Does he make a lot of units and try to attack? He shouldn't have to, right? Like usually in ZVZ, what happens in this kind of situation is that to extend your lead, you squeeze out units, you make enough units to make sure you don't die, and at the same time, you still keep on making drones here and there.
Yeah. It's actually a very finicky matchup, but one like the Hands of a Master can really look quite cool. It is going to be more droning for Jim Rising, though. Laser's actually supply blocked now. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, and even more.
That was a really severe supply block. He had no Overlords on the way. 3 are on the way now, and he needs them because this one's also going to die. But this is more importantly not just the continued supply block. It's going to be all the scouting, really, from a laser gone from Jim Rising's side of the map.
Yeah. Laser falling apart here a little bit, and that aggression as well is a little bit scary. I think he was trying to push the forward at the bottom with some queens to chase down the Overlord. Those are also going to be exposed here against those Banelings.
Snipes one of the Banelings, but 2 more with only 1 of his own. That was a little scary for a laser. A couple of Lings get into the main base, really want to see what's going on. Still see no lair. Nothing too sneaky right there.
The income right now must be massively in favor of Jim Rising because he's spread out across 3 bases. We see Laser starting 7 additional drones, but if Jim Rising from now only makes units, and look at this, he's only making roaches and links, he might just be going for the kill knowing that he has the superior production thanks to his third hatchery and injects, which I guess that's going to be the last one in some time, unless he sends a nuke in there.
Yeah, but it finally kicked in, though, you know? For a while, the third base wasn't doing very much, but then suddenly the drones got to it, and the injects were actually starting to happen, and Jim Rising is certainly taking a good position in this game. It's not quite over yet. He is ahead, almost 20 army supply, and Alaja's got to get as many as possible right now. A little bit supply blocked once again. Oh, no, actually, he's good. But a lot of money in the bank, and I don't know. There's a lot of roaches coming for Jim Rising, but is it enough to break the Fenner's advantage?
Yeah, those Banelings, those defensive Banelings for Elaze is so important. The more time he can buy, the better. Having Quince as there as well is going to help quite a bit. They tank some of these shots from those Banelings. Does he have enough yet? Huge concave setup already from Jim Rising, but it looks like Laser might have enough.
Yeah, I mean, of course, Jim Rising's attacking in without Roach speed, so his reinforcements are quite slow, and a Laser ends up taking an army supply lead. He's got to get the rest of his units over here, though. I guess some of that's in those 24 Lings that are coming out now, and a lot of his Roaches are very low. Jim Rising's trying to push an advantage, but I don't think he's going to break him.
Yeah, he overextended there, and he's going to lose a huge chunk of Roaches here from that, knowing that he can't get away against these Zerglings. So from there, does the Laser actually counterattack? It looks like he's thinking about it. He's going to move towards the middle of the map, and he's got a huge supply lead now. Almost double the army supply.
I really like the choice to get Lings. I mean, they could have done more counterattacks, but also just getting this around on the last few Roaches to make sure that Jim Rising lost everything for that attack. That would have been an absolutely crucial mistake, as Jim Rising's trying to get a decent army up once again. Don't know why a drone's in there. He needs as much army as possible right now, but he's the one down 30 army supply. I think Jim Rising might just lose here. It's too bad. It's actually been a pretty nice game. We'll see how his Banelings perhaps connect, or maybe if the defender's advantage can kick in his favor this time. He's going to try and target down some of the weak Roaches, but the Concave, the numbers are just too good for a Laser.
Yeah, there's not even an increased spread here to have reinforced a little bit faster the Zerglings. They just come too little too late, and GG's called. The Laser opens up the scoreboard here up against Mexico in the winners match.
Yeah. I would say that most people aren't surprised with the way that game actually went. It was like, oh, flashbacks, like, oh god, maybe I'm going to lose a lot more drones than he did. And you know what? He actually managed to bring it back. I really think Jim Rising made a mistake pressuring like he did in that third base, though.
Yeah.
He just poked and prodded and realized that they both didn't have Roach speed and just went back into droning.
Yeah, that was
been a good macro
attack.
game.
He was kind of, I don't know, on one hand he feels like he was kind of committed at first, but now I do think he could have pulled back.
Right.
I don't know if maybe he thought that Laser was going to be able to chase him with like the reinforcing Lings, but just to choose and sack all of these Roaches just put Laser way too far ahead.
Yeah, exactly. It was probably a case of where he expected like 20 Lings come out and surround his Roaches. They just came a little bit later than he expected, and well, he still lost all of his units. So ZVZ will go in favor of Poland to start things off, and now we have the question of who does Mexico send out second?
Do they send Major now? Or is it going to be Jim Rising and a ZVZ?
Cham?
Cham, sorry. Feels like it's a really tough choice. I guess it depends on Cham's confidence in ZVZ, right? Like,
yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean, his stats actually said that he was looking pretty good in ZVZ. Plus, he just got maybe a little bit more knowledge about how Laser's playing. I wouldn't mind seeing Cham. It's going to be on Vani as well.
Yeah, maybe Cham, I think. Seems likely there.
Cham.
And Cham comes out. All right, ZVZ on Vani.
All right. I like that choice, actually. I think Cham has maybe some confidence in ZVZ, as well as seeing where his teammate found a couple of holes in a Laser's play. You might think, like, oh, I could actually, like, you know, I could press that button a little bit harder and actually win against a Laser. Then,
and I mean, they probably looked at the map as well, and it's like, you know what, Vani, ZVZ, I feel confident. There is a bunch of funky builds you can on this map. You can play Zergling heavy, kind of like we saw Scarlet do earlier in that epic game against Soltov. And just try to go for the surround, and instead of playing Roaches, like you can definitely play different styles, I think, on this map as opposed to on most others, just because of the way the map overlays. A lot of people think Mexico is going to do very well here, 68%.
That's surprising.
Sometimes I feel like these are just like bugged and upside down.
Yeah, right? I don't know. Maybe my prediction really swayed people, or maybe we have more Mexican fans that we didn't realize.
Or maybe not.
I don't know, though, guys. Like, of course, the Laser did just take the first game, and I agree. Like, I think Poland could lose, but I don't know that percentage. You know, chances they're going to lose. I think it'd be a general upset if they did lose.
Yeah.
But,
I think it has to start now. Like, as good as Major is, like an all kill is like quite unlikely. Whereas if Cham wins now against Laser, like this really, I guess, sets up some good momentum, because most likely, I guess, it will be Echo next. I wouldn't be surprised to see Mana come out, and then Cham, I think he could even put up a good fight up against Mana, even though Mana played very well earlier.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think Cham is looking for, ideally, not just one win, but two to really prove his strength. And that's, you know, Major isn't the only great player coming from Mexico, but it's a tall order. You know, first a Laser, and then Nurchio, who has some pretty, like, equally frightening ZVZ, maybe even sometimes more so than a Laser. And they do swap back and forth quite often. A couple more tweets coming in, and I believing in Jim Rising. Unfortunately, that tweet came a little bit too late. Oh, well.
Still believe.
Yeah.
That was a nice card, actually. with the portraits.
Yeah, it was nice.
I like it.
Yeah.
Do
Well,
you believe still?
Jim Rising?
No, in Mexico.
I was going to say, not so much. I don't think he'd be revived. Yeah, I believe in Mexico. I think Jim Rising was a good choice to test the waters, and I feel bad for saying this because, both times actually had some pretty good games. It's not like, just kind of throw that guy out and hope he does pretty well. No, he's actually doing very well, but I think maybe the safer expectation is to lose, but gather as much intel as possible and hope, of course, for a win. So,
Hey, scouts.
Yes, exactly.
Like a Nathanias, like
Scouting Reaper, Nathanias. Yep. That's what Nathanias is for Team USA, absolutely. But I think Cham and Major can do it, and my predictions, I guess, actually start betting on these things, man. Like, I can see why Rotterdam gets so, happy when he wins a prediction, or so confident about it, too. Like, I like sometimes
I tell you
being
one he's not so
correct.
happy about. He's predicting that Mexico would win against France because he's going to get a lot of bad words for this later from us. So
Okay, all right.
shouldn't be too happy about this one, Roddy. But yeah, no. I really think that Cham has what it takes here to do well. Now the question is he feeling it? Is he in the zone? Because he's going to need to be against a BlizzCon top 4 finisher in Elaser.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to remember that, unfortunately. I mean, as good as the foreigners did last year, especially going up to BlizzCon, I guess the limelight was still on Bjorn. So sometimes I forget. The Laser did quite well last year. Is it officially 2017?
It was definitely a tournament where the stars kind of aligned, though, for Elaser to do well, right? In a way where, he got, I think, a very good matchup for him in the quarterfinals.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, he did play very well there, so... Would have been nice, actually, to see Laser against Protoss, but...
Ah, well.
Mexico don't have...
Mexico doesn't have any Protoss. There you go. I saw an overview of Vani. I guess if you're actually unfamiliar with it. I would say what would be a cooler preview would be what happened in the last time we saw Vani with Scarlet and her ZVZ, but I doubt that would be replicated. Well, we're into game number 2, and in the bottom position for Mexico, it is the blue Zerg Cham.
With the early pull.
Yeah.
And his opponents playing as the red Zerg, hailing from Poland, is of course Elaser. Going for hatch first on Vanilla Research Station, can't really blame him for it. You got that pocket expansion that's just asking to be used.
Yeah.
But I think that's probably what Cham was counting for, and he's going to be going for some links early on and some aggression.
Yeah, it's interesting to see any amount of early pooling in Vani, on Vani, just because it is that pocket expansion and there's that very easy choke. I mean, once you've pushed the Lings back once, you get 2 queens on there, then you usually don't have to worry, beyond that. But this isn't a dedicated early pool. There's no gas with this. There's a possibility a Laser thinks there is and maybe over-defends.
Yeah.
But I'm really curious to see how Cham's going to actually utilize this. Usually the immediate target is the natural hatchery, but with the setup here, it's going to have to be maybe drones? I don't know if he just walks past the entire main base.
With which you can prevent some mining time. If the opponent makes a single mistake, you start punishing right away and kill a few drones, then you can completely snowball, because these drones, they have to stay together, they have to make sure they min or walk, get a full surround of those links ideally and snipe them, which you don't want to let happen here if you're Cham, because if that happens, those links will die super fast and then you will have a rush for pretty much nothing. So let's see how well Elaser can handle this.
Did
so
a Laser
far,
not see those?
no, like the Overlords, they kind of go around, I think.
Yeah, that was actually, I think, pretty perfect by Cham. So, I mean, of course, a Laser already chose his build. Even if he did see the Lings, he would have had to micro anyway, but usually there's a little bit of mental preparation that can actually be quite impactful. So far, the drone drilling has been good, but some of them are very, very weak. Finally, Lings of a Laser come out to help defend. A couple of juicy micro. He really wants that low one there. Finally, he gets it, so 2. That's too good of a start for an early pool.
Yeah, I think he probably wished he had done more. Like, the walker count's still pretty even, but now that Queen will chase those links away. And Elaser has defended this pretty well, essentially. He's now got speed on the way. And Shams might be the one that has to defend here in a little bit. He starts double gas, actually, double extractor there.
Okay, well, that is usually, like the person who defends, sure, if it evens out workers, that's great, but they also have this faster speed. I guess what Cham is hoping for, planned on, is that since it is Vani and it's going to swing back into his favor for having this easy 2-base setup, is that he could go gasless. He didn't have to go for speed because he can just wall off his main base and go for the slow buildup of roaches. And that third base usually isn't too difficult to take afterwards. Of course, Scarlet proved that wrong against sort of yesterday. Like, he could never get that third base down, but I don't know if Alaze is going to be going for upgrades on his Lings.
Alaze overextending with another one of his overlords there that got chased by those queens. He gets supply blocked for a little bit.
Whoa, Champ going for a double evolution chamber.
And hidden, like also, like he didn't go for them in the wall. They are in the back of his natural.
Oh.
So they're going to be quite hidden there. He might be going for the Zergling style with double upgrades.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to see it on this map, especially after yesterday, and it would be a surprising throwback of a build, too, to get those double upgraded Lings, and of course, usually you want speed with those Lings.
What a trickster. Early pull into double hidden evolution chamber in ZVZ. I'm loving it.
Yeah, right? And this is pretty cool, you know, if a laser sees what's going on, like he sees this, he sees queens blocking, he might just assume, like, well, I guess you're going to play this slow build-up to a lot of roaches, because that's probably the safest way to play following up that early pool, but it is going to be the double upgrades for the Lings. But where's speed didn't finish, right? Like I didn't miss that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he hadn't started it. He was prioritizing these upgrades, which actually will make this even more a surprise. Like he's not going to have speed for the longest time, but when he's finally going to have it, these upgrades will follow suit.
Wow. All right.
What a trickster!
Yeah, but basically, like, what a trickster. I just didn't expect this from Cham, but man, this might work out really well. It really depends on what a laser's thinking.
Oh, Nidus!
Oh, okay. This might hit before Cham has enough, and even if it is 1/1 Lings with speed, they might be too clumped up.
Cham is making a ton of Lings right now.
Oh yeah, he is preparing to be going forward with these upgrades.
This might be better for Cham, no?
I don't know, because if the Nidus Worm actually gets out and about and actually is able to send forth a good amount of roaches, they're going to be clumped up and protecting each other, and that's when, of course, even while upgraded Lings still have trouble tearing them down.
But if you surround the Nidus before the units come out, they come out outside of the Lings that are attacking the Nidus, so then he should die.
Yeah, they wouldn't be very clumped up, and that Nidus Worm might just die anyway, so it's, of course, going to come down to this. Cham does see it. Still doesn't have speedlings or upgrades. It's kind of funny, but he's got a full surround here. The queens are even going to be able to help out. Can Alazer actually get anything out here? He's got the queens coming out first, but oh my god.
And might be trapped if this dies. He's going to keep on transfusing and bring roaches through, and he has a lot, actually. These queens from Cham Laser.
He almost got that Nidus Worm. A laser was like almost a second too late, and that could have made a world of difference. But what happened was that ended up his Lings are the ones that got surrounded, oddly enough, and he just didn't have enough of them, and their upgrades still were not quite done.
They finished as all the Lings pretty much died, so from there, I mean, Elaze is just going to have so many roaches in that position. Even if the Nidus finished now, how is he supposed to deal with that many roaches? He has 3 Lings against...
3.
Oh, yeah, 17 Lings against 16 roaches.
Yeah, it's probably, I would say, game over. Cham really needs, he would need 60 roaches, I would say, or 60 Lings, rather, and getting a good surround. And now Laser's going to get into these mineral lines and not able to be surrounded too well. This doesn't go so badly. The drone's even getting in on the action, by the way, but another Nidus Worm pops up. There's still, of course, roaches that went to the third base, and it's going to be a lot of economic damage finally coming in here. He could just pop into the Nidus to micro if he really got scared, by the way.
Cham's got some warrior spirit there, pulling all the drones to try and finally get rid of his attack. But I think there's just going to be too much here from Elazer.
Yeah, down this many workers, even if he does end up cleaning up the Nidus Worm, is still enough damage done by a laser, who still is on 2 bases with more roaches able to be produced. I really thought that Cham had a cool idea, but of course we're talking so much about Cham being a trickster. Cham maybe wasn't even thinking about a laser potentially doing something tricky like a Nidus Worm.
I think he was very unfortunate, actually. Like, if this had hit 30 seconds later, then he would have had 1-1, he would have had way more Lings. And he could have done so much more against this. But now, this hits at the exact time when he was... Also, that hatchery, both of these hatcheries came out after... this had killed all of his Lings. Can you imagine the reinforcements from this? If he had 4 hatcheries against just 2?
Exactly. That 1-1 probably could have been the difference of that second late 2 transfuse and actually killing the Nidus Worm. But I don't know. He kind of he took a dare too to surround the Nidus Worm like that. But GG, a laser will take the 2-0, and ZVZ is no problem for this guy.
That was a clean execution though from Elazer for sure, because when you go for a Nidus that's already surrounded by mass Lings and queens, 3 queens ready to attack it, and you keep on transfusing it consistently enough, it means he just did everything perfectly. Let his queens go up on energy, let them go out first and make sure he keeps on transfusing not to let that Nidus die. And then once the Roaches were through, they did the rest of the work of cleaning up the Zerglings. Yeah, look at it. When I saw this, I thought the Nidus might actually go down.
As if they had 1-1. Like, this Nidus Storm gets really pretty low right there. Like, that one time. Like, that was in the red for sure. But still, the transfuses were available, and it was a really nice execution by a laser. I mean, let's not forget that Cham opened up with a pull first that really didn't do enough damage. Maybe that would have been okay if the follow-up had been able to if there was an execution of the follow-up, but the Nidus Storm timing was just, it was too good. And that's that for, well, the Zergs for now, unless they decide to revive the Mexican Zerg. I would doubt that, though. I think it's finally time to see some Terran, some Major.
This has to feel bad, for sure, for Cham. Like,
yeah.
I keep rewatching this, you know, like, as an ex-pro gamer, you'd always try to find your mistake, but like if you look at this game, like I'd be looking at it like I got unlucky, right? Like there was not much I could do there. So Major gonna be our next player here to come out from Mexico. He was the only one left, and then I guess if he loses, he may be the revive player as well.
I think so.
But he has a tough road ahead here. He needs to win quite a few maps against Poland in order to bring it back for Mexico. He carried against France. Can he do it against Mexico? I guess we're going to head to a break and find out after. So see you guys in a bit. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everybody. You're watching Nation Wars 4. Mexico's in trouble, and they've called on their greatest superhero. They flashed the aim in the sky, and Major has been summoned.
The bodybuilder, the weightlifter,
the powerlifter.
I've seen all the tweets, and I like him. Keep them coming, guys. Hashtag NW4. But you're right, Johan. I really thought that Cham was going to be able to take maybe one map here. It's obviously always hard. I mean, going up against Elaser and ZVZ is not an easy feat for anybody.
He got super unlucky. I really think so.
Now, this is the way to watch some Nation Wars. With little Polish flags, bottoms up.
You mean blind passed out on your couch?
Yes, exactly. And then you're like, oh, we're the best. Every now and then you shout a little bit, shout something at your
You
TV.
wake up real quick.
Yeah. You pass out. You're like, it's 4-0, right? It's like, no, man, we lost. What? No, just kidding. Oh, man, I hate you. No, it seems like, I mean, it's important to have fun whenever you're watching StarCraft. The game is going to be played on Echo.
TVZ 50%.
Not anymore. Unless we get a draw.
Yeah, but then they still play again.
We already saw Major in action on Echo against Stefano. It was a very solid game by him, even though I think his opening didn't work out perfectly. It was mostly the Cloak Banshee follow-up that really secured, you know.
And also, like, Stefano definitely played a little bit funky, right? Like, who masters Roach with, like, 2-2? I was like, yeah, Stefano's the best at engagement. He's going to wait for Major to attack. Then he's going to fully surround him, wreck him, counter-attack, and kill him. Then Major just didn't kind of attack. Stefano was the one forced to attack eventually, and Major just played it right.
Yeah, and it's really hard to attack in Echo as well whenever they're just sitting there on their 3 bases, knocking down that cooling tower. It's going to make it very hard, but Elaser obviously doesn't have to play it like that. But we'll see how it goes, Johan, as we're loading into Echo, looking at the main base of the Mexican Terran. Can he do it one more time? It is Major. Obviously, he could potentially have 2 lives.
Viva Mexico. And his opponent playing as the Red Zerg is, of course, Elaser, who was on the brink of being replaced.
Yeah.
And with these victories, with these coupled victories, he may have secured himself a starting spot in the Polish lineup.
Ooh. Juanito's going to get a little funky over here. Already throwing down 2 Rexes. There's a good chance we'll see one more go down. Some good old school 3 Rex Reaper. We saw Beyond bring it out the other day. Once again, I don't think this is the best Mappo ever for these kind of builds, but Echo, there is some surface area where you can jump into the main base. If it's one of these maps, like an Overgrowth, this is not good. Whirlwind, it's obviously a disaster. Daybreak is not ideal for it either. Yes, there is no ramp. We'll see how it works out for Major this time. So far, it's just 2 barracks, but yeah, he's gonna throw down one more.
Yeah. Go for the full wall off so that he can expand as well behind this a little bit later. Like, Orbital's already on the way. This is not like the huge commitment version where you go for the proxy, double gas and all that. Major doesn't roll like that.
That's my favorite. Utomo and Kalazur are watching right now, and it's like, that's not how you do it. We need to see heart and commitment to the 3 Rex Reaper. But we'll see how it plays out. If I would build my depot there, I thought I'd block my CC.
Yeah, 1 case to the left. Actually, it hasn't happened in a while. Like the worst was when you had to open Forge, remember, back in the days? And then like you misplaced your pylon just by one box.
I mean, I casted a legendary game in Brazil during the WSG North and South American qualifier where somebody built a Twilight that blocked his own Nexus.
Who was that?
Eggs. Or Egg. No, it was the Protoss, sorry. It was against Eggs, but I forgot who the Protoss was.
Wow, you forgot something. What's going on?
He had a funky name. I remember he was from Uruguay.
Okay. I forgive you. A lot of links being forced here early on, but speed's already on the way here for Laser, who rightfully stopped mining gas for now. He's going to regroup with the Queens as well, make sure he chases these guys away. And so far, he's doing alright, I guess. Like, a lot of Zergs might have lost some drones already. Oh!
Wow, actually gets a Reaper there. That's a very nice little pick-off.
Didn't expect that to happen here from Major, messing up a little bit.
We don't see it in a super early Roach Warren, so this actually could become a little bit tricky just trying to defend with links, but apparently Laser feels confident enough on a map like this.
Yeah.
As long as he has Queens in decent positions and doesn't overcommit with the links, he should be fine.
He actually got a ton of minerals already. He needs to spend that a little bit better, make sure he hits the injects, and I'm sure he's going to be going straight into a third base as soon as he has enough links that he can get the wrap around against those Reapers to force them back as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about this opening so far for Major. Obviously, there are many cliffs on this map where you can just bounce back and forth, throw down some grenades.
And another command center goes down.
Very economic follow-up, but he kind of needs to do that as well, right? Like, yes, he has created a small worker advantage for himself. Elazer still has to be very careful engaging these Reapers in the middle of the map, because that's a lot of grenades, Todd.
Actually, they are getting rid of some of these Zerglings still. Elazer hid another pack of Zerglings, and he's around his third base, I think, right now. Knowing that if Major comes back, he can get the surround, or at least try and get it.
Yeah, it's not looking great, I think, for Elazer at this. He has a lot of links out there, but unless Major just makes a massive mistake where he leaves the depot lowered or something like that, I don't really see a good use for all these links. Obviously, you need to do something against all these Reapers.
We've got 30 SCVs against 23 drones, and there's about to be a third orbital.
Yeah. I mean, right now there should soon be a nice space off time where Elazer can just drone, pedal to the metal, and try to re-establish that economy that he's looking for, but I don't think this was a brilliant start for him.
Wow, Major gambling a little bit there, because those links are not too far behind. I guess he's going to rely on the grenades as soon as they move in. I wonder if he was maybe looking to sack his Reapers. Like, generally speaking, you shouldn't go for that, but hey, he's going to be able to get out.
Well, actually, with all of them, didn't lose a single Reaper there, even heading pretty deep into the natural. So well done. This Overlord, well, no, Major's not even going to try. I think he could get it.
Yeah, with the next Maria. Yeah. That was a bit of a misclick, I guess. Behind his factory on the way. Third orbital halfway through morphs. He's still ahead in walkers.
What do you think?
He's going to get it.
No, it lived.
You had to click, didn't you? Just couldn't give me this one. All right, I'm done.
Evolution Chamber being morphed in. Double Evo actually is going to be the choice for Elazer. While he's sitting on 36 drones, Layer is obviously going to be incredibly delayed, while Major also has double Evo running very well. And I must say, Major's done a phenomenal job in making sure he didn't lose too many Reapers. He's been very careful with them, but still looking for openings. And these Reapers can actually be very useful as well in the first real engagement. I mean, how often have we seen Reapers just actually playing a crucial role in that first engagement, where you can just knock down those Queens, or knock them back a little bit, keeping the Medivacs alive as well.
Knock them around.
Yeah, man. Let's make it a bumpy ride.
All right, let's see. Elazer's pumping out a lot of Zerglings right now. We don't have a Baning Nest, right? It's just pure Zerglings, but it's a lot of them.
It's a lot of
those grenades.
Yeah, exactly. He still has to be incredibly careful in engaging this. This is a very awkward little push by Major, and not one that I think Elazer saw coming. There we do see a couple of those Queens being pushed back already.
Wow.
I mean, it's combat shield as well. There's quite a bit of HP on these Marines. There's
Major
no stim.
is sick, man. He just removed the entire creep spread. Now he's going to pull back, seeing that there's a ton of links, knowing that there's probably more being produced. He's being super patient.
Elazer was going to try to get a wraparound here, but he has to be so careful. It makes it so hard with all these Reapers in the mix. They can just throw down those grenades, and before you know it, all your links are dead. So now we finally see that layer. That's a 6-minute, 30-second layer. That's going to be quite late, while Major is already floating over his orbital. He's going to sit very comfortably, Todd, with the first Medivacs on the way before that layer is halfway done.
It's actually quite sick to have preserved his Reaper count so well, because now that he starts getting Medivacs, he could actually drop with a lot of Marines into, like, say, the main or natural base, and at the same time send the Reapers into something like the third, and start taking out a lot of drones and force Laser to react on every base, lose some mining time, and maybe some very important walkers.
Laser is going to try to go for a small counter on the left side, but one Marine was left behind, so Major is aware of these links on the left side. The armory is a little bit late. That's the only thing that's been sloppy so far, as the 1-1 upgrade's already finished up, so he could have potentially started 2-2 a little bit faster, but he's quite low on gas anyway, so maybe he felt like he rather got a couple of additional medevacs out. This could be nice. There's not that many Marines left behind, Johan.
Yeah, actually, like, this is gonna kill a couple SCVs potentially. Maybe the mules. He's targeting on the mules right now, and Laser's gonna get both. Nope, doesn't finish off the second one.
Does Laser have enough at home though? That's a lot of Marines and only a couple of Bailings, and those Bailings are slow Bailings, so off creep you definitely don't want to engage, and even on creep it's going to be quite hard. But if Laser can get his fourth base up without too many issues, I mean, then he already succeeded in something which was incredibly hard for Stefano. Obviously a very different type of game. Once again a counterattack, but this time with a couple of mines and a few medevacs as well. These Marines should be able to clean it up, especially after that good Widow Mine connection there on the right side.
The next map will be Whirlwind, by the way, so if Major loses there, he might have to come back out as a revive player up against Laser on Whirlwind. If he wins, then it would be against Nurture or Mana on that map.
I mean, this I think is going to be really hard. There are so many forces out on the map for Major, as these links are going to try to get the wraparound, but the bio unit is steaming forward as well. Let's not forget about that drop in the main.
Oh, and the Queens are off creep here. He's going to lose 2 of them before the fight even begins here. Will Laser look at the supply?
Laser is in so much trouble. Bailing speed has finished up, but he needs absolutely miraculous connections, and he gets a couple of decent ones, but I don't think that was good enough, Todd. And with only 4 queens remaining, that's going to be it. GG. Just like that, Major will get the first win on the board for Mexico.
It is all over, and Mana or Nurture will have to come out on Whirlwind to try and defeat Juanito.
We saw Drogo playing on Whirlwind against Major. It was an excellent game by Drogo.
Yeah.
He played incredibly well. I really love the way that Drogo is playing at the moment.
But we also saw Mana throw his headset and say, I'm done, recently on Reddit, so...
Poor Mana. I don't think you had to... Yeah, now Mana has been pretty vocal about his dislike of PvT for a while. Even at Home Circuit Cup, right? The first thing he said to me when he was like, Roddy, I feel your pain. Like, he's like, my games go the exact same way.
Well, I mean... I've been losing to Terran for like the last 3 years. Like I know all about it. Like it's all the same pain. So we'll see. I don't know. On Whirlwind, like, I think if I was Mana, I probably wouldn't want to come out on Whirlwind. It's probably going to be Nurture, I would say.
Yeah, it's not a bad map, I think, for Zerg. I mean, it's such a wide map. It's kind of hard to spread creep in a proper way, but at the same time, it's also...
It's Nurture, right? Like overloads all over the place, good creep spreads, solid game.
And Nurture is also somebody that doesn't mind the super late game at all. He's always been quite comfortable at Hive. He's quite comfortable in just sitting back, making the minimum amount of units, defending, and then getting up to those super powerful units.
But I guess it's a good map to drop, though, especially against somebody that plays a roach style. Like, obviously, Nurture adds maybe Infestors or some sort of anti-air. He's also very good at splitting and queens, but I have to say, Major was very impressive earlier against Stefano when he was dropping in like 3-4 places at once. So we'll see. Is it going to be...
Yeah, it's a hard one.
Is it going to be Nurture or Mana? Let's find out here. Whirlwind on next map.
We have to make sure we can show.
I said Nurture.
Yeah?
Maybe Nurture.
All right, I agree.
Boom.
What's up? 1 for 7, not bad. That's going to be a sick game. Nurture versus Major on a large map. Hopefully we can see a super long game. That's going to be a lot of fun. Kind of hoping Major takes this just because I want to see Nurture play. Oh.
Ask and you shall receive, Alice. It's coming. King Arthur is coming and he's angry that he has to play.
Yeah, he
the
was
Polish innovation. They've summoned him.
He was enjoying the games, watching from his Iron Throne, but every now and then the king has to fight as well. And we'll see how he does. I'm excited for this one. I think this could be an amazing game. I saw, in the past we've seen plenty of sick games from Major, like against some of those best European Zergs. Super late game scenario. Can get very hectic, can get very fun. Should be a really good one.
Yeah. Looking forward to it. We're going to get started in a second. Yeah, we talked a little bit about Whirlwind, but I wonder, actually, opener-wise, do we maybe see some sort of command center first? Because we don't really see that much anymore. Like, I guess you don't really have to go for that. What amuses you, Roddy?
And the fact that it looks like every race has a losing record on this map, but it obviously means that some of them, the other way around. It's just funny the way that was written out. This is the tough map, Todd. Everybody loses. It's like one of these movies where everybody dies, whirlwind, everybody loses.
There's like a secret race, like human. He's on this map, comes and makes Archmage. All right, let's get started. Starting in the bottom left-hand side of the map here, playing as the Red Zerg, it's of course Poland's Nurture.
I'd be terrified playing against your human on this map, Todd. A Zeppelin, Blizzard on my mineral lines. That would be a disaster.
Zeppelin and 2 tanks. Merry Christmas.
Over here on the left top side of Whirlwind, looking at the main base of a man that's been absolutely on fire so far today. It is Major.
Oh, the music got really epic here.
I do think this is a good scenario for Major. Vertical spawns. I actually think that's the best. Like horizontal is not the end of the world either, but cross map, I think this would have been incredibly difficult. Yeah, of course you can set up a lot of drops, but at the same time it's gonna take a while before those drops arrive, and Nurcho is simply a little too good to be totally caught off guard by any sort of drop that you throw at him. He will always see it coming in time, he will always have a couple of units. But with positions like this, if Major wants to go for one of those strong pushes with a couple of tanks early on and really apply some serious pressure before Hive is out, I mean, this should allow him to do it.
Yeah, Nurture opens super safe here. Going for the pull gas and getting the hatchery behind. He's going to be working on getting speed very early on. We don't see super aggressive builds very often from him. No. But sometime I think he's capable of throwing one of these. And it's Pig's favorite building here, the Roach Warren.
Yeah, and that's an incredibly early Roach Warren. I highly doubt that he does this just because he may be expecting 3 Rex Reaper once more and he wants to defend that, but I really don't think that's going to be the case. You said
he's hoping he doesn't get scouted early on, basically.
Yeah, it's a 4-player map as well. It can be very difficult to get a scout off, and Major is actually not scouted at all. And this Reaper is rally to the right top side of the map. Yo, and this could be an absolute disaster. If you don't see a push like this coming in time, it's going to be so damn hard to deal with it. I wonder if Nurture is going to go for what Elasa showed us early today, just a couple of roaches, more of them into Ravagers, or if we're going to see a very serious commitment and it's going to be way more than just 3.
A Moman, if you will.
Well, that's roach number 4 already, and this Reaper is looking at the wrong side of the map, Todd. That's very unfortunate for Major.
Yeah, let's see when Nurture stops making units. So far, it's just been 4 roaches. He starts a drone. Okay, so he's going to be droning up here behind this. He's just going to be a couple of Ravagers here to rush that ramp, start and do some damage. And actually, Major delayed these Hellions here a little bit. I don't know if he was supply blocked or something, or if he just wanted to rush his starport a little bit faster, but that's also not going to help, the fact that he gets these so late.
This is so unfortunate for Major. He could not have possibly scouted this any later. The roaches are already halfway across the map, and Major has no idea that this is coming. This Reaper is going to show up and may expect, like, hey, why didn't I see any drones? Why is there no attempt being made at anything else? Is he going to throw up a bunker? Nope, it's just going to be 2 Hellions for now that's going to run straight into these roaches, so he's going to eat quite a few shots here already. 1 Hellion that
almost dies, but survives with 10 hit points. He's going to have to repair that here. Make sure he waits for more units here to defend. I love the way that he evacuates the second base. This may allow Lynx. Okay, now he locked that SCV out.
Well, that reactor is definitely going to fall, and there's a good chance that a couple of these supply depots will fall as well. Once the Cyclone is out, that gives Major some micro potential, but this is starting to look very dicey already, and he will most likely end up losing quite a few SCVs.
And Major in a world of trouble. Cyclone about to come out here. He needs to make sure he does the corrosive bite. Finally starting to get some surface area on those units. And he's going to push this back here, losing just a couple SCVs. It's 2 there.
Yeah, that's actually not all that bad. I mean, he did lose the reactor while that Hellion just ran straight into the crossing bar. He has to be careful. The Cyclone, Todd. The Cyclone gets picked off.
He was taking damage with the Overlord here from the Marines.
That was a big mistake by Major. That was not supposed to happen. I mean, there is a Banshee more than halfway done, but that's also going to mean that one more depot is going to get finished off here. And there's a good chance these Ravagers could even get one of these add-ons. Like, it's just being built right now. Why not? Just shoot at it, drop a corrosive ball. He's going to go for SCVs instead. Land a couple of corrosive balls in the mineral line. Try to get lucky, and he actually does get a little bit lucky. Wow, look at the micro. He has like no HP at all on these Ravagers, but he still managed to get 3 additional SCVs.
And look at this, metabolic boost about to finish. A lot of Zerglings are going to be made. Nurture fully knows that behind this there's going to be a Banshee most likely coming for him, so you can just get spores, have Queens in position to defend that, and he's going to be counter-attacking across the map with Zerglings against a Major who's going to be solo on units here to try and defend against this.
Yeah, because let's not forget that the reactor got taken down, which means there are no Hellions, and just like that, Nurture wins against Major. I mean, it's a cool build and good execution by Nurture, but at moments like this, I can't help but feel a little bit for Major.
Yeah.
And there's always someone who says, like, well, that's his own fault. He should SCV scout. But yeah, you know, it's one of these scenarios.
Drogo did that. Like, he scouted super early, extra early on Whirlwind when he faced Major earlier. So I guess that's possible. But yeah, like, technically, you know, I guess if he had scouted him second, might have been fine as well. Did mess up a little bit with the micro and Nurture.
The Cyclone dying, I think, made things even worse. Because if you keep that Cyclone alive, not only will he save a couple of additional SCVs in that one depot, the Cyclone is actually very good defensively as well against a couple of links. If you put it in a good position, you repair it. It's very hard for links.
That Overlord bought a lot of time. The Marines were attacking it. They didn't even kill it as well. Like, they died after, and like, oh man. Oh, in Mexico, Major guaranteed.
Yeah.
We're on Daybreak next.
Yeah. I don't see any reason why you wouldn't send out Major here. I mean,
because Nurture has never lost.
Major is probably quite pissed off about that game. That's just one of these games. It's so unfortunate. It's a 4-player map. That won't happen on Daybreak. Is it going to be Juanito? Yes, it is. No surprise, Todd. So he's got one hell of a mountain to climb. Major needs to win 3 games in a row, potentially against Nurture twice, but at least once against Mana. I mean, in Poland, you can revive anybody.
Yeah, they're all very good. And also, yeah, I don't know, I guess the maps must be fine for Major. Like, it would be Habitation in Newkirk.
Yeah.
All right. I think before we get started here, we're going to head to another break. And when we come back, it's going to be the revive player here, Major, going up against Nurture. So make sure you stick around, and we'll be back with more games.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Starcraft 2 Nation Wars 4, and Poland is on the verge of qualifying to the round of 8 with a great performance at the moment. Major, the last guy standing.
Yeah. Of course, I was the one that predicted that Mexico might be able to take this one, and I still have some faith in Major.
Could happen.
I think it could happen. Not crazy,
no.
but like Major going out like that versus Nurture, I feel that doesn't set up well for like mentally. You know, he had a couple micro mistakes that really just feel like might get to you when it comes to this potential final game.
That phase when you have to step down from the throne to take matters into your own hands. Hashtag King Arthur, Nation Wars 4 poll win. Obviously, it's coming from netwars.pl. Such a great community of StarCraft in Poland. They were amazing at the WCS Season 3 finals. It made it like so much better thanks to you guys. So thank you for following us today. This was the right time for the king to come out, says Nurture.
Oh, it was pretty perfectly executed. Not gonna lie.
Nurture's being so cheeky.
Yeah, he's really learned how to control his, his BM to just be appropriately funny and pretty amazing.
Exactly. So people don't believe that Poland should win. There's a lot of Mexican following on the interwebs, and I don't know. Like, I don't see it happening, but I kind of understand why you believe. I guess the Mexican team showed they were probably the best team in the world by defeating France in a previous game.
Clearly, that's what it
Clearly,
showed.
that's what it means. Like, totally.
Yes.
But yeah, for Major, that last game against King Nurture, King Arthur, is one to forget. Like, don't get annoyed by this. You did lose an opportunity to feel a little bit more comfortable in that best of 7. But yeah, there's still games to be played.
Sure. I think there's 2 sides to it, you know. There's the one side where you miss-microed and you definitely should have responded better. And a little bit of, just bad luck with the whole 4-player map thing. But then the other side is that, it was a very short game. You didn't get to show what you really have to show in a TVZ. So maybe you do just say, that's a game to forget, and let's go into Daybreak.
Well, let's go and see what this man has. Can he make it back for Mexico as the blue Terran in the bottom left? It is Major, the guy that took out France.
And in the top right, as the red Zerg for Poland, he is Nurture.
Should we say King Arthur? And the problem is, if we start referring to him as King Arthur, I guess he will never stop saying that he is indeed the king, and just,
Straight to his head, man.
Yeah.
The man an Iron Throne at the live offline finals.
Yeah, he will require a throne to play. Like, no, I'm not playing on a DX Racer chair. Who do you think I am? I'm King Arthur. Just give me a golden throne right now.
I don't think you can actually like change the golden throne. You know, I don't think you can actually adjust that. So I don't know how well that would be for a pro gamer. Start hurting after a while for being so up on your, well, not your high horse, but your gold chair. We had, I guess, a bit of an interesting start. We did see Major already open with a 3x Reaper on Echo, which was not... I mean, Echo is one of the maps where you can definitely do it against Nerchio's teammates, and Daybreak would be another map where you could certainly do that 3x Reaper. So I do like that Major scouted with an SCV, and he did not go for the 3x Reaper, so he sees the Lings are on the way over. That's Nerchio went for a pull first and can just either try and catch the Lings, which is what he's trying to do, or keep the Reaper back at home.
Baiting that Zergling to go and die against that Reaper on the opposite side. Really well played by Major right now, and he's going to try to get that second Zergling that was trying to circumvent everything going to the north, but yeah, he's pulling back, which is yes, a good decision, I believe, from Nerchio. He doesn't want to lose all the Zerglings that he produced in the early game with that pull first, just being just as safe as he can, and we'll get the metabolic boost to get those Zerglings going on. And I'm wondering when he goes for a third base, because we've seen, for instance, Stefano going for a really quick one. This time Nerchio is going to take his sweet time, just building some more drones.
Yeah. For Major, he gets to do his build without some interruptions, without any roaches coming all pesky like across the map, and he's, I think, very aware. That's what his Reaper is ideally wanted to scout with his El Naga. It hasn't actually gotten into the main base yet, but still the lack of roaches already on the way. Still tells you a lot. Wants to get in there and scouts, but not at the risk of losing his Reaper, I suppose. So actually ducks out, might come back at a much later time, but Major, finally going to see Hellions, finally going to see Banshees, and no sudden Ling flood to end the game.
Yeah, no problem whatsoever. This time Major will be able to put this game plan on motion, but in motion, but that's a Viking.
Yeah, I thought the Tech Lab was going on that Starport, but I was clearly wrong. So that should just be Stim.
Yeah, a quick Stim and a Viking, and a pulled Viking, I should say. It's going to try to get a little bit of that map control.
What an old throwback that is.
Yeah.
It's back when the Hellion opener was the thing to do in the matchup. But yeah, pulled Viking. Actually, my
delayed Banshee.
So delayed Banshee. I really want to start calling like mech and something extreme like that. But I've seen a couple other Terrans actually just go for a delayed Banshee. I still find it questionable because it does delay your stim.
Raven.
Or a Raven. Wow.
I was wondering, because going for the third CC meant that he didn't have the minerals to start both the Banshee and the Cloak at the same time. So I guess you've got a Tech Lab at a pretty decent time before you actually want to build Medivacs 2x2 or even Liberators. So you get that opportunity to crank out that Raven, which could be super interesting in the in the following steps of this game. Like, you can harass with it, you can help like just clearing up some of that creep without using any scans. Like, if you have that that opportunity, that tiny moment where you can build a Raven, I'd say just go for it. And he went for it.
I think he's taking a lot of inspiration from Nathanius, obviously.
Of course.
Yeah, clearly. That's going to stay in the back of the natural Milan and do a ton of damage. Actually, I'm not sure about that, but it does have the potential to do a lot of damage. The Hellions kind of forfeit in the middle of the map. The Vikings having a tough job finding a lot of work to do. I guess there's 2 Overlords in the north, but this Raven is seriously just very interesting. It's still going to be going into bio, 3rd CC, double engineering bay, all that jazz. But I'm not sure Nerchio's Roachborn has been scouted quite yet.
Yeah, I don't think he's seen anything ever since the beginning of this game. Major, that is. Yeah, we can see that the main base hasn't even been scouted, because this Reaper has been fended off quite well, and even the Raven has been scouted earlier, so there's some links to defend. But if you don't pull the drones, you will lose them, because those pesky turrets, they're actually 2-shot drones, and that's 3 drones going down, but he did lose the Viking, I think.
He did, yeah. It was a bit questionable on the micro, to be honest. Like, the Viking went down, very obvious it was going to go down if it stayed in the main base. And the Raven, I think the Lings were seen, so it knew it wouldn't do that much damage. But the thing about the Raven is that it's energy-based, right? So as long as mutas aren't coming out and killing your Raven, they just continue doing this whenever you please, basically. And it's not going to be a Spire. It's going to be a really quick infestation pit.
5 drones! 5 drones. I guess Nerchio should just respect the auto turret and just pull the drones, but it's like, a king will not move for an energy-based turret. I don't give a damn. But then you lose 5 drones, and that was 5 drones on top of the earlier 3 drones that he lost, so that makes it 8. And yes, I did math on stream, and I feel good about it.
Good job. I think that was correct. Yeah.
Yes!
So we do have Nerchio going for, I think, what is like 8...
Thank you, Kevin, confirming that was 8 kills.
Oh,
sorry, I'm stopping with this.
No. He's going for something that he actually did a ton a couple of months ago, but as people have really just been adapting and just saying that, okay, Needle Bling is back, or sticking on Ling Baneling, and maybe later Infestors is the way to go. Seeing Roach, Ling, Infestor with potentially a quick hive, that's really, bringing me back to like 6-8 months ago. A style that Nurchio certainly was very good with, but I thought he also would have maybe adapted to the Spire play, but not here.
Okay, let's see if Nurchio finally pays respect to the turret or keeps the drone on the same position. He's gonna lose some more, but at the same time running by some Zerglings to the turret base and equalizing the loss a little bit, even getting a 5th SCV. No, Nurchio is actually a merciful king and he will let that SCV live, but at the same time he needs to defend against that job. Is there fungal available? I don't think 75 energy has been reached yet.
Yeah, those were pretty new Infestors, and now Major has scouted the Infestors. I'm still not sure he ever saw the Roach form, which is kind of funny, but he might also just know Nurchio enough to start, guessing as to what the army composition will look like. So this is something that Nurchio did lots and is still obviously playing around with. So Major, I don't know if he's really feeling confident enough to combine forces and push in. Nurchio has 73 drones. He's going to be making mostly army now and should have enough to push back even a bigger force than this. But certainly he can try and just continue to abuse drops. Infestors are only so good at taking out those medevacs.
Oh, Major eating a really, really intense supply block here. And he anticipated the fungal to be out with those biles. But the thing is, like, you throw biles and our Terran player will have an alert on his computer telling him that he's getting attacked. So I guess the timing of it was a little bit off from Nurchio, but I was mentioning the supply block, it's still going on. 125 out of 125. He didn't have the energy to drop to call down a depot, and that's about, like, I would say 15 to 20 supply that hasn't been built just because of it.
Yeah, luckily he did start all his other time-based investments, so 221. That's what I'm talking about, as well as his barracks finished up, and he's going to be adding on more tech labs and reactors as well. He's got these two drops that almost dodge the fungal, but unfortunately that is it for that. This one isn't even being unloaded. The attack at the front is very bold. You can never be quite sure they don't have an Infestor in the back pocket. This one finally unloads, gets a Queen. Not bad.
Yeah, gets a Queen and a couple of Zerglings and will escape. I guess, like, I really love the way, in general, Major tries to play. This is really ambitious kind of play style. We'll go for that triple-pronged attack, and yes, it didn't work in its favor because he lost the 2 medivacs in the main, but he makes stuff happen on the map, which is nice.
Yeah. I love seeing the Burrow come out, especially for those Infestors. I don't know about what I think was a double bailing us, unless he canceled the first one.
No, it was a cheeky double bailingness because, what the hell.
It's like right next to each other too. It's actually a pretty bad mistake. But oh well, he chooses one to start the typical hooks, and he is on his way to Hive. Of course, Major should know. He saw the Infestor, should know that a Hive could be coming at any point, really, and that shortly beyond that could be most likely Ultras, as he's probably seen that the Lings have been upgraded at this point.
Okay, let's see how this fight goes. He actually cannot reach the protection of those mineral patches to get a really decent position and gets to surround. He has to evacuate with those 2 medivacs, not paying attention to the north. Nurchio is actually winning that kind of, multitask game at the moment. He's just defending a little bit better, getting a little bit more value out of his units. And as you can see, even though Major has been mining way less than Nurchio, he lost also more units, is behind technologically. And all in all, like, his strategy of going for full bio, because if we take a look, like, he doesn't have that many tanks, only 2 I believe, and a lot of bio with a lot of Marauders, but I feel like it's going to be really hard to break that position from Nurchio. And first fungal, that Raven did well, but will probably die. No, actually still has.
Oh my god.
Oh. Close your eyes, Terran fans. Just close your eyes.
He's so lucky there wasn't 2 more corrosive biles in Nurchio's pocket there. You're going to try and buy some time, do some damage with a single drop. Not really going to do too much at all in Major. He's still going to try continuing pushing with these very low medevacs, only a very small amount of units, but it might be enough to snipe a 5th base. I think that Nurchio's okay giving that up. He still has he's going to have a bit of a bank because he maxes out in supply here and already has his upgrades on the way.
Yeah, that's already something, I guess, getting that 5th base, but as you mentioned, you've got a Nurchio at the opposite side of the map who actually throws down +3 defense, +3 carapace, I should say, +3 melee, the chitinous plating, and 6 ultralists while building a spire. Yeah. How does he manage to pay for all of this?
By not taking any damage and just very easily cleaning Major up for the last 11 minutes. Yeah. Major was going to be, 2 situations. He was either on a timer where he had to push the 2-2 and hope to God that he would win with that push. I think that was already, like, very quickly, not a real opportunity, not a real chance. And the second option was just to poke, prod, drop every once in a while, and try and just get to Liberators and 4 bases. If they're both maxed out, even if you're missing some crucial tech, say Vikings, or maybe what is potential Broodlords, maybe you can still take a good concave or really start to tear the Zerg player apart. But I think Mage is in a very difficult position.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Like, the question is, does he believe in a split map situation and actually, slowing down the game a little bit? As I say that, he's actually pushing super aggressively in the middle of the map. Will definitely lose a Raven. No!
There's something killing.
What's going on with this Raven? He just doesn't want to die. Like, Baal will always miss, and that's a good double drop. He's totally out of position. Nurture, that is. He will loot the spawning pool. And even maybe a Queen, some targeting on the Banelings. No, he will just evacuate and clear out some creep at the same time.
So, of course, more importantly than a greater Spire is just the Spire in general. Corruptor to help take care of Medivacs for drops, but also just Liberators and Medivacs when you push into the Terran. I mean, if they're stimming without Medivacs, it's bad. If they're taking engagement against Ultras without Liberators, it's bad. Those Corruptors actually be tanky enough, too, to fly over a handful of Marines. I don't think Major's ever gotten a Widow Mine in this game, so there's nothing really actually to... Oh, no, there's 4 of them. My bad. But still, that's not a lot to stop the Corruptors, especially if they trigger any of those Widow Mines before moving in. This is all poking and prodding. I don't know if he really is expecting very much, but an Ultras isn't a bad pickoff.
I guess pretty decent pickoff with the mines, getting a little bit of Banelings out of the way. Some Banelings. This Raven will never die. And as I say that, he could have been killed, but no. He's still here.
So you should repair that damn
NHP,
thing.
just do it.
Yeah, he gets the Ultralisk and a good chunk of Banelings too. Like, Nurture definitely let a couple of units slide right there, but of course Nurture is banking almost 3,000, 1,000. I mean, it's still a good game for him, but Major's starting to make the moves in a late game TVZ that a Terran has to while he builds up the perfect army back at home.
Yeah, Liberators and Ghosts being produced by Major, so still going for quite an aggressive stance in general, I believe. Like, getting 14 drones, actually still finally getting some value out of these drops, but gaining a lot of time just because he's being super relentless with his aggression. I believe there's a Liberator going down or something like that, or a Medivac. There's a call-up. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on at the moment. This is really hard to follow. Drop will be reactivated on the natural, and Major... What's going on? He actually drained almost the entire bank. Now Nurture is just sleeping on his drone, not moving the drones once again, and that's 31 drones in this last sequence. And finally repairing that Raven.
He deserves it.
That makes me happy. But Cloak +1 air, full Liberators and Ghosts.
Yeah. Nurture, I don't know what happened in the last minute here. Of course, Major went Super Saiyan, so great for him. But also Nurture just really started to drop the ball in what was, up until maybe 11 minutes, a pretty perfect defense. He's depleted most of that bank I was talking about. He's made other slip-ups, such as building 2 spawning pools, unless he just wants one for a backup, which might not be a bad idea if Major continues to drop.
Oh, no, he does have...
Wait, he already has 2. He's building a 3rd one.
Is he building a 3rd one?
Yes.
LOL. I will be able to build Zerglings whenever I want.
No matter what you say about it. I mean, I don't know about that. He has a bunch of other options. If he only has minerals, I suppose he will definitely be wanting to make lings. He still has Ultras to make, Broodlords to make, Roaches, Infestors.
Does he have adrenal glands? Adrenal glands for Zerglings?
He does not.
Dude, you've got 3 spawning pool and you don't even start that upgrade. What's going on? No, just making fun a little bit of that situation. Not gonna be too bad, but I guess like if he realizes he should be researching it, considering how good that upgrade is. Now we see a fusion core. Will we see battle cruisers, or just more likely, I would guess, range for Liberator? But a man can dream.
Of course, a person can dream. Yeah, exactly.
A person can dream.
Yeah.
You're right.
Got to be considerate of myself, I guess. I don't know. So I will be guessing it's going to be Liberator range as well. Well, Battle Cruisers would be funny. And it just confirmed my theory that earlier Raven was because he's been watching a lot of the Thania streams, but I don't know about that. A lot of Ghosts, Planetaries set up. I think he even has extra orbital commands ready to be almost made here. No, it's the Snipes come down. Dear Lord, the Ultras die. There's still more Ghosts to the bottom side as well, and Nurture is not finding a weak point in Major's defense.
All right, Major fighting off and just surviving in a game where It looks super, super bad for him for quite a bit of time, as you mentioned, about like 11 minutes in. He was down and out, and now getting that ultra late game composition of Ghost Liberators with pretty decent upgrades. I guess he should reactivate that armory just a little bit to get some upgrades going for his air units, but he's finally pushing in, and considering and at the same time dropping to the main, there's not that much to destroy here, but he will pull back the army, and in the process will get that base in the bottom side. And if he actually makes it to get those fights in those tiny holes like this, tiny hallways, he can get a really great fight with Liberators and Ghosts.
Yeah, Nurture's also been cut down to 56 drones, which maybe not a problem when you do have that 3,000 mineral bank, but he's been continuously taking drone losses, not feeling the necessity to replace them. I worry about a fight going down. Nurture thinks is okay, and then he tries to remax and realizes he doesn't have that much of a bank. Major's also going to get his own bank too, being on 5 bases, looking towards, maybe a 6th. It's currently covered by creep, or unless he takes this one up here. That'd be a laugh.
They will try to go for it, and he actually scans the army, will cloak all the ghosts, and it's going to be going pew pew pew. Every Broodlord, 2 Broodlords, and a Corruptor will go down. He needs to take care of that creep too if he wants to get that base eventually. Gonna get some turrets, and for once, Major is actually a little bit richer than Major, and being richer than a king is already something that's really interesting to me.
Did not notice Major didn't have +3 armor. That's really been about his bio so much. This has been not exactly a passing game, but certainly one where both are more keen on defending. Major only, again, poking and prodding with drops, exactly what he needed to do, but while getting to this Ghost Liberator army at this point, how much about does he actually have? He's also adding on a Raven and Raven upgrades. Is he really going to get more than 1 Raven? Oh my god, 2 more starports are on the way.
He will.
He's going to go late game Sky Terran? What year is it?
Yeah, I'm enjoying this, to be honest. I see Vikings, I see Liberators, I see more Raven, and that's weird-ass upgrade I will never know the name of for the Raven. What is it? The Corvid reactor.
It's something reactor.
It's actually not that hard, I should remember.
No, it's not. It's not like the Caduceus reactor.
Caduceus reactor. It's actually on a useful unit, Well, I say that, and now the Raven is literally godlike. So probably shouldn't be saying this. Once again, giving out away some roaches. I guess he doesn't need them anymore.
Yeah.
But I always like some players making the extra mile to get something out of those units that they throw away, right?
Yeah, maybe going to the planetary in the top. I guess high sec auto tracking's finished though, so the roaches wouldn't even be able to do very much. I don't know,
yeah.
This is
7 range.
Yeah, pretty good. This is one of those positions, again, not seen this type of TVZ in a very long time, get this late with this type of composition, but this is one of those where I'm just getting flashbacks to maybe Ryung. I guess I think it was Snoot or someone on the detox, I think it was, basically a super late game, and the Zerg just kept on throwing bodies, but it seems so difficult to kill a Terran who has 20 ghosts and Liberators and missile turrets protecting everything. It's 19 ghosts. I was pretty close.
Might be the last game of the night. Well, at least if Nerchio takes it, but quite like 2 days ago, the last game will take a long time to be played. This is starting to look like the split map situations. This split map situation I was mentioning before. And right now, nobody's about to win, nobody's about to die. What's this upgrade? Show me. That's the range label. No.
Seeker missile.
Seeker missile damage.
It looks like it's just the Banshee speed upgrade, but colored red. Yeah. So I was confused with you.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he is going to be upgrading those Ravens. Very interesting. Chris, Daybreak is one of the oddest maps, I think, for a split map scenario because it's so base light in general. But then these 2 bases that become crucial as the game goes on are so fiercely fought over. They're going to be static defenses right next to each other. This is going to be the points of contention. And so far, I guess Nerchio's pushing a little bit farther in, but he really can't push far enough to secure a hatchery.
So the thing is, Ghosts, they are amazing in this kind of situation if they can get in a position where they're not being hit by anything. Fungal, just a tiny bit of, scratching from a Zergling will cancel the animation before the snipes. So doing this, having the Liberators set up in front and having those turrets to actually block will make the units extra dumb for Zerg, but also cover the Ghost quite a bit. And Major is playing this pretty beautifully. He needs to defend on both ends. We could also see some nukes I guess this could be a game where you can see some nukes.
I would love that. Nukes, anything at this point when it's obvious both of them are going to have a lot of trouble pushing into each other, anything that gets around or pushes the opponent back without them being able to do very much about it, is going to be absolutely crucial. So whether that's drops or nukes or auto turret harassment, I'm not sure, but apparently a fight almost went down. I still don't think Nurtio could actually push into this.
This is not looking good for Nurtio. He doesn't want to do it like this. He wants to take the Terran player a little bit by surprise, I guess. Some snipes will go through and get all the Vipers. Actually, even the hooked Ghost actually throw down some EMPs just before dying. That was pretty heroic of him. That was nice. I loved it.
I don't think I've actually seen that before.
Yeah.
Maybe a Ghost pull, but not the actual EMP getting down too. That was pretty clutch.
In the middle?
Obviously, this game's going to go on for quite a while longer. Yes, Claire, creep is still important. You don't want suddenly your fourth base to be covered by creep because you're getting so focused on the main engagements, but that's where the focus should be. At any point, the fungal goes down or broodlings start getting freebies.
Yeah. This wasn't the greatest of fights and the greatest of positioning from Major because he actually lost his first ghost in the game, like a couple of ghosts that he lost during this. Probably 4 or 5. Those Broodlords, are we seeing snipes in the bottom?
Oh!
No! Missile! Hitseeker missile. He actually stacks his army once again. Drops down some PDDs, but he needs some NTR right there. The turrets will not cut it. This is not enough.
The Ghosts don't have much energy left over, but the Overseers are here. Are there any more? Is there enough Broodlords to actually take them out? But what about the Vikings, I suppose? And the Bio Army looks like it lived against those Lings, or at least some of them did. A couple missile turrets could be helping out here, but it looks like the Vikings don't need the help.
And it will clear everything here. All those Corruptors will go down. And when you take a look at the production tab, first things off was Nurtio panicking and building some Zerglings that will probably be useless in this game. And now, just a couple of Corruptors, 3 Ultralisk and 4 Queens. Jess, I believe Major has done it. It's not over yet, but there is no money left almost anywhere on this map.
Yeah, they both exhausted their banks, but Major was the one that ended up with a lot more left over. Nurture's only mining from 1 base. Of course, again, neither of them can get the middle ones. Even still, Nurture's trying to hold on, make sure Major can't get it. But Major has so much better of an army, still producing very expensive units.
And as we can see, like in terms of resources lost, 27k for Major to the 36 of Nurtio. So, yeah, considering Nurtio hasn't been mining that much compared to Major, well, yeah, he did lose way more units, and this is one of the reasons that Nurtio is not feeling too well in this game. And I mean, Major is taking it slow. He's like, okay, I believe there's some mineral patches here. I kind of like money. I'm going to take that base, you know, quite slowly. While Nurtio is trying to do the same on the opposite side. But just remember the potential rain of mules that could come. Like, how many orbitals do we have? Does he have an orbital farm here?
Yeah, 8.
Yeah,
Whoa.
8 orbitals. Yeah.
Turned all of those into orbitals, I guess so. Not too shabby.
Top. At the top, some units are actually trading quite a bit. Okay, Vikings will go down, but that hatchery, well, it was a dream for King Arthur.
It was. You know, he tries to take it as a bit of an advantage and push into Major's newly established base, but that's not really going to work with such a small army. The one that is basically already being countered. Ravens, Vikings, Ghosts coming into. This could be it.
Are we going to see fireworks? Yes, it's going down. Hitseeker missiles going onto the Raven. Instantly is going to do some major damage to his own unit, but I don't think it matters that much. 127 supply in terms of army against the 78 of Nurtio and Major. Can he do it twice? Once again, friends, and now against Poland and Nurtio here. Can he pull his country in the round of 8 as first place of Group Poland? That would be sick.
I think it's totally possible, though. This is an extraordinary game and one that we're probably not going to see again this late, 25 minutes on Daybreak with these compositions. It'd be a real treat to see this as a repeat, but I do think Nurtio would be the revive unless Mana somehow has the greatest game ever, which is also possible. Or just wins, I suppose, against Major, but
I guess he could win also.
yeah, I guess it's also possible, but I think this game is basically over. The only thing Major really has to worry about is running into fungals, which I don't even think Nurtio has them anymore.
GG! Major takes the win and takes Game 5 and makes it a little bit closer than anticipated here from the caster. Oh, actually, as I say that, I can't remember you guys' prediction.
I think I was the only one that guessed Brazil would win, but...
You mean Mexico?
Let's do that. Yes, Mexico would win. But I think Rotterdam guessed 4-3 for Poland.
Oh, okay. Actually, knowing in advance, even though he actually misses most of his predictions these days, but that's a nice fungal. And once again, that's one time where this Raven should have died.
Jeez, I thought this fungal was going to be the end of the game. I was like, that's so brutal. But nope, it went on for a lot longer than that. This ghost count got super out of control, and really the only way to deal with that ghost count is to either get like really awesome Baneling hits, which might have been another option, or of course that fungal. Secret missiles ended up being a surprise hero.
It's interesting to me that Nurcho actually lost patience a little bit and wanted to attack. I don't like he needed to do something about those bases getting mined from Major at some point.
Yeah.
Like this part of the map was quite pivotal. Like I would agree, but taking that fight behind turrets, behind PDDs and everything was clearly not good for him.
Yeah, a couple points on that, but first we're gonna look at the tweets. I actually do not know what this says at all.
Okay, please somebody help us, somebody that can speak Spanish. Yeah, all depends on you, I guess.
Maybe that actually might be a good
todo,
one.
which means like all is
Okay.
depending on you. De ti.
There we go.
Yeah.
English and French come together to translate Spanish.
Of course.
Makes sense.
Easy.
But yeah, on your points though, like Nurture actually has had a couple of games in the past against Protoss, and I think maybe even against a couple of Terrans back in the Turtle days, where he would get kind of frustrated and just be like, I've been in this situation before. I know I can't win. Like, and then he could basically gives like middle finger and just like runs in. But then also I think that the fact that it was Daybreak was also a huge factor. If it was Whirlwind, I think he's so patient.
Yeah, of course.
know?
Yeah, obviously, Major in this game realizing that he was not about to win with the classic 2-2 timing with Bio, so went on to that really late game situation, Ravens and Ghost and the Liberators, obviously all that good jazz for Terran, but it would have been a different map. He wouldn't have been able to pull off that kind of strategy, especially considering that he wasn't aiming on it. Some players like I will mention a guy like Avilo. Maybe you heard about that guy.
Oh boy.
But when the game starts, Avilo knows that it's going to take a half an hour, and he will play mech with 3 upgrades, and he will take his sweet time. What's funny to me is that Major went into that game into a proper standard TVZ. I'm going to play Bio, try to out-micro you. It's not like he defended on 3 bases and never went out of his base or took an early fourth and went straight into Ghost. No, he transitioned because he knew he couldn't win this way, and then I guess Nurcho didn't kill him fast enough.
Yeah.
And then after that, maybe lost patience. We could have seen like Niduses, for instance. That works really well with people that actually just defend one entrance.
Yeah.
Well, what about 12 Ultralisk in your main? Yeah? What are you gonna do now?
12
See?
ultras in your main, yeah. Well, even 20. I would have said cracklings, but I don't think I ever got adrenal glands in your main base.
With triple pull. No crackling.
Triple pull. Good strategy to have. Triple pull, double Baneling nest. Good structures to have. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of things could go differently in a 25-minute game. But I would say that was just a surprising game, a surprising TVZ to see today, like in 2017, January. That was something that was hard to see even back when ultras, quick ultras were the thing to do, or back when Terrans thought they could never win against ultras, so they did just turtle. I mean, it was fun, and I like that Major did not rely on like a 2-2 timing. He wasn't just all leaning and thinking, well, I guess ultras are out, so I guess I'm dead, which Nurcho might have been depending on, and that might have been the reason it just went so long. They both kind of expected different things from each other, and it just kept going. Going.
It was a really cool game, like really organic, I believe. Like they didn't have any plans on going to that ultra late game in split map situation.
Yeah.
Well, the fact that Major recognized that this was the map that he could actually win this game, even though he was like really not doing so well. Like, as we mentioned, we believe that the game was over quite a couple of times with those massive fungals just running down on his army. But yeah, he collected himself. He was like, well, how about I start camping for like 20 minutes and make like the best units that I can get for a late game situation while trying to get more bases than you. So yeah, obviously Major doing super well, and now he's got the opportunity on I would say an easier game against Mana in CVP to equalize that series.
Yeah, I don't ever want to say that Mana is an easy opponent, but Major's, I think he's got some confidence perhaps in TVP after his games against Drogo. They were pretty close games, but still he did end up winning them after all. And then maybe he knows that Mana's had some frustrations lately against Terran.
All right. In the top right, he's the savior of Mexico. As the blue Terran, he is Major.
And in the top left, as the red Protoss for Poland, he is Mana.
Yeah, Mana also played some pretty cool games. It's Italy earlier.
Yeah.
And clearly not looking like a guy who's not focused or not well prepared. He does. But it's just like, it would be a little bit stupid, I guess, to just, forget about the year that the two other Polish players had. Like, both of them went to BlizzCon. This wasn't Mana's case, and not even close from qualifying. Like, he didn't have the best 2016 yet, but now, as you said it earlier, and I thought you would mess that up and say that we were in 2016. We are in 2017, January to be precise. I would not have been able to tell you what date exactly, but 2017 nonetheless, and maybe the rise of Mana.
Now, if this was in school and I was asked to write down what year it was, I'd probably mess that up. But I got it audio-wise. So, yeah, I really like Mana, though. I mean, I think everyone likes Mana. Everyone likes everyone from the Team Liquid, right? Like, I don't know anyone who hates TLO or Snoot or Mana or anyone, but I think that Mana, while, there was a whole Reddit thread recently about his frustration in that one game versus Terran, it actually has a more stable mindset that made him look. That was just, one, bad game, and everyone has that kind of frustrated yell or whatever after a bad ladder run. But no, he actually, usually looks at the game pretty calmly, and as such, I have, a lot of faith that even if he is recognizing the potential problem in PvT, that he doesn't let it affect him too hard. Because I think some other players, they're like, well, Imaris isn't doing very well right now, so I guess I might as well just give up.
Okay, what is it with Major not placing his CC well? All the time.
Well,
why does he do this?
Blame the probe, though.
You think it was just because of the probe?
I think so. It's funny when you see a Terran player specifically, right? Dance around with that probe. When if the probe's really just going to patrol, just be like, okay, you do your thing. I'm just going to put it right over here. I don't know what you're expecting of a Terran player.
Yeah, I guess it's not that bad. I mean, it could be a Nexus or a hatchery, but this time we know that those pesky Terran buildings can fly, and Major will recognize it instantly, and we will see the Mexico appear right here.
Magic.
It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm really, really looking for a Manor Nexus or a Manor Hatchery or Manor CC.
Ooh, that would be cool.
Because we'll see, the country will appear out of thin air. This is a really cool early game strategy.
Yeah. Major likes the tech lab. I guess I was going to say Banshees, but then they got a Raven last time. Oh, God. It's a Raven once more. I think both would be really surprising to a Protoss player. A Banshee comes in, what are you doing? And a Raven comes in, why is it so early?
Oh, at the same time, what a really old school strategy, I would say. It reminds me of Zest at some point. Used to do that against Terran quite a bit with early Robo and double gateway in addition, and you just push as early as you can. And considering the build that Major is going for, he's not going to have that many units to be to work with. That tank will not be out by the time that first Wapin will be here. Of course, the Raven will do quite a bit of work against it.
Well, what's funny is that the Raven might be such a surprise, especially since it pops out as the Warp Prism comes in, that an auto turret could actually kill the Warp Prism, or the Marines could kill the Warp Prism, and that was just not supposed to happen. Oh, no.
All right. So, your strategy was to deal some damage with a really early aggression. Your opening to do that aggression with actually just, fell flat on its head. It was just a terrible attack from Mana. Just gave away a Prism and those 2 or 3 Adepts in total, and for nothing, literally nothing died on the side of Major. And the more this is going, the more this is looking like a Game 7. What's going on with Mexico?
Yeah, what's going on with Major? Of course, Mana is probably just shaking his head right there. You can't think about it for too long as the game is still going, and it's so early on in the game, but man, that was a total disaster. If you're going to get a Warp Prism this early as a Protoss player, right, a drop this early, it's going to revolve a lot around that drop being at least alive. Maybe it doesn't do any damage. Maybe it just, turns away instantly and feels he can't go back in because the Raven's going to be there or something like that. It still is there, pressuring and keeping the Terran fearful. Now, Major, sure, another Warp Prism could have been made, and I think it is worth building another Warp Prism with an open like this. But Major's just he's mental edge right now. Oh yeah, I got a Warp Prism. Pretty good.
Yeah, it's probably tilting right now. I'm liking this. I'm liking life, says Major, and will defend against that Prism for a bit. not getting any adepts out of it, and kudos to Mana with a pretty cool micro right there. But if he doesn't pay attention and actually moves that prism a little bit far, oh my god.
Lord.
If he loses another prism, I think we will see, the innovation GG.
Maybe.
Which is like,
I don't know if
I
it'd be
can't
that
take
bad,
it
but-
anymore.
Yeah, it would be pretty bad. A Viking is on the way, and Major really is just getting the perfect defense against the Warp Prism, but there's a potential that maybe it's a little bit too much. Like, you got, like, more missile turrets. I think it's a bit unnecessary, but this seems pretty perfect for now. Just tanks and good positioning, as well as units with anti-air capabilities. That Warp Prism will have to leave eventually, not do too much damage.
If the micro is perfect on the side of Major, he might be able to get that prism, and he will go
he-
for it. Mana
yeah.
stops the prism. And Will Luzik, what's going on with Mana? Not feeling comfortable at all at this moment in this game. And considering how much pressure there is on his shoulder, maybe he's just crumbling a little bit. But that doesn't sound like Mana. I mean, this guy has had like one of the longest freaking career in Starcraft, and he's not known to be a tilter, I guess.
Yeah, but I suppose it can really happen to anyone, right? Like, innovation is supposed to be a robot, and that tap out yesterday kind of seemed like it was more of a motion thing than it is I accurately assess the situation, so who knows. This is definitely not looking too great for Mana. He does have Colossus tech, and that's actually kind of scary, but the question is, can he actually secure a third base? That's not a bad-looking army. The tanks aren't sieged yet, but there they go.
Yeah, he's going to try the traditional mechanic that you try to use against those slow tank pushes, is taking the fight as far as possible from your main base, or even your natural. But now those tanks are slowly leapfrogging. There's a couple of mines, and that's the pivotal part of this, which is a full mana Raven, which means 4 auto turrets or 2 PDDs or any of those two. He's actually going to go for those turrets with the massive amount of damage that we mentioned earlier. And now the Stalkers are getting shelled away by those tanks, losing a couple of probes in the process. And I think both Colossi remain alive. But
They do, yeah. At least the fodder did its job, but the Adept went down very quickly. And of course, after that, the tanks will just absolutely shell away at the Stalkers. Major, I think, smells blood. Will just go ahead and boost over to reinforcements, or maybe even go for the main. Like, he scans. I think he knows that's the only army Mana probably has. So either collect himself and push to win, or start pulling Mana apart.
Okay, the Adepts will shade in next to that tank, dealing a little bit of friendly fire on this one. And Immortal will anchor that defense, but at the same time, double medivac on the natural ramp will be able to deal some damage. Double mine will get planted down on that ramp, and that could be such a huge trap for our Protoss player, and that Robo will go down.
Oh, without Colossus, I don't think there's a hope in this game. Mana doesn't have any upgrades on the way. The Widowmines actually get some connections. He's going to try and make up for the loss of the Robo, the double Robo. And to his credit, he does have 3 bases, but not a very good probe count. Not a very good army.
Yeah, there's just a lot of things that go wrong in this game for Mana, who does have the Robo Bay, but at the moment no Robo to work with. He's building 2, as you mentioned, and I like the way Major is handling this, because he's doing a lot of damage with quite a small army, I would say. He also kept his Raven alive, which means he just destroyed that easy observer that was going on the side. But he did that on the back of a tree-based economy, which is not that easy to pull off, I would say. Like, this looks like a guy that tries to push harder and harder on 2 bases, quite like a Nolan strategy. Well, this time he's got 3 CC to back it off, even 59 SCVs at the moment.
Yeah. I think he has enough Vikings to actually just... okay, never mind. I thought he had 6... Oh, okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Now he has enough Vikings. I think he could just sack them if necessary on the Colossus. It probably wouldn't be a sack. He'd probably be able to land a couple, and they're now kind of effective against Stalkers. So I really like actually adding in Immortals, but of course it's a situation where you need more stuff in general. So whatever you get, fantastic, awesome. We can talk about theory all day, but do you have the numbers to back up that theory?
Okay, actually, Mana will try to gain some time here with those sentries dropping down force field, but there's a hole in the top side. Even the Marauders will try to squeeze in, and the Forge will go down. And as we did not anticipate, at least I did not, this is going to be a 3-3 situation between Mana and Major here, Poland and Mexico. Rubber game once again, game 7.
Yeah. Yeah.
You called it. Okay, I see you.
Got
I see you. But damn, Major on fire, always
Yes.
in Nation Wars.
Apparently Nation Wars is kind of his thing. he needs to represent Mexico. It can work out. Yeah. Well, I do think we are both guessing that it's going to be Nurchio as the revive. Instead of Mana had a really close game, then maybe,
No, definitely no Mana. But
no, not after that game. I think even himself is just going like, okay, I don't even want to play StarCraft right now.
that would be quite a weird decision if they actually throw down Mana under the bus again, because that was not a close game, and it was not a close game also because Mana messed up a little bit, and that actually shows that he's either tired or frustrated or whatever. There's a lot of possibilities here, but he's not feeling it. He's not in the zone yet, even though he showed some good games in the first best of 7. This time, one more time. Then I don't know, Taco Tento, Taco Power. Let's go major.
Okay,
that I understand. But
that we got.
One more time is actually pretty nice.
Yes, understand that pun.
I hope TKL is aware of that pun. I know he will love it. Maynard, our friend from down under. Aussie. Man, Special SC2 is so goddamn good at this game. Special SC2 is obviously major. Carrying Mexico right now in #Nation Wars 4. Can he finally beat Poland too? No. Game 7 is going to be a hard one.
I think he's going to do it. I think no matter who Poland sends out, whether it's Nurchio or I guess the other option would have been a Laser, I think Major is feeling great after his last few games, and we'll just have the momentum to carry forth from the ace match.
Yeah, I guess you should even be more, more sure about it. He's going to do it. 100% he's going to win this game, right?
Oh, yeah.
You called it. You called 4-3. It's about to happen, or at least there's a possibility that it happens. You should.
Right.
You should just go yeah, of course. We should not even play that game. It's over. Major win.
I think either me or Roddy is going to be very happy, but I'm not going to celebrate quite yet. I love my prediction to be correct, but who knows?
We'll see who the ace player for Poland is. We actually tend to go with King Arthur. He's the captain. He needs to take his own responsibility, and I guess he lays this game against Major. Didn't look that good. It was a really close game between Major and Nurchio on the other hand.
There you
go. And Nurchio will be the ace, so captain takes his responsibility.
Yeah. It's responsibility. I wonder how much of it is also just you got me in this super long game, Terran BS, swear to God, Ghosts. But you know what? I can play a variety of other ZVT styles, and I can get you with one of those.
Yeah, he will try another Ravager push or something, try to finish the game super quick.
Maybe, yeah.
So yeah, Nurchio taking his responsibility, but as the captain, will he sync with the ship? Is that possible? I don't know. Well, we will see. Game 7 is about to start in a couple of seconds. Okay. I've seen that joke before.
I think I've seen it.
I'm sorry.
Once or twice.
But no. I'm not taking any of this, Wax Angel. No.
That's more of the production, though, wasn't it? Whoever got there first is going to be the funniest person.
Mm-hmm. And Aeromi just put it, on purpose to just make Snorlax look like a fool.
Like a fool, exactly.
That sounds like Aeromi to me.
Newkirk Precinct, of course, the only map left. Interesting stage.
60% in TVZ.
Yeah, that's actually not too surprising. Of course, when you think of Terran, first and foremost, for actually most matchups, it's going to be what can the tanks do, and then what can Liberators do, and how fast is their rally push. And Newkirk kind of plays to all three of those things.
All right. I hope you guys are feeling comfortable. This is the last game of the night. No questions asked here. We will know if Poland and Mexico makes it as first place of Group Poland, make it to the round of 8 in the bottom left. This is Poland's captain, the good old Nurchio, King Arthur.
And in the bottom right, for Mexico, he is the blue Terran Major.
Juanito will try to make it happen for Mexico, and what a performance by him today. It's just unbeatable. Did quite a trick to France in the first match, and now about to, has a chance to take down Nurchio and Poland, which, once again, in my opinion, is the best team next to Korea in those nation wars.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
If I had to make a pick for top 4, and we talked about it quite a bit before starting the tournament, and wondering if we would invite the teams to the studio, and yeah, Poland was definitely one of my choices. Germany also, Korea, I guess, and I also liked the Netherlands' chances too.
Yep.
And I have to say that because obviously Rotterdam will hit me in the face if I don't say it. But I do believe those are really the strongest team, and even if Mexico is always super strong because of the format and the way Major plays in every Nation Wars, this time, like, beating Poland would just, I don't know. I don't even know what to say. This is crazy.
It would be amazing.
It will be amazing.
Certainly everyone will be taking Major very seriously if he takes out Poland, maybe defeating Nurcio twice. He did anticipate, of course, the Lings coming across the map, but they kind of anticipated each other, so Reaper stays at home, but Nurcio sends the Lings away.
All right, look, he did open with Pool first in his game to get a little bit of a map control going, and probably abuse the fact that Major could go the opposite side of the map with his Reaper, but in the end, he did wait a little bit, so the CC is going to complete. There's not going to be any issues whatsoever here. And going for double Hellions once again. I think that's a really great map for Hellions, don't get me wrong. Maybe a little bit predictable, but it's not like he's taking any risks to do so.
No.
He does scout everything, and no tech lab so far.
Not so far. Interesting follow-up with the Widow Mines. I was gonna say, I wonder why Major likes the Helene, the factory opener, basically, so much in TVZ when the 2-1-1 is still kind of a thing to do. And he just feels like it's too predictable, but this is certainly a way to make an unpredictable build even more unpredictable, as you do expect for 6 Hellions into what is a Viking or a Banshee, but... Well, okay, this is kind of funny. Nurture hasn't seen anything at all so far, so he really doesn't even know what to expect.
Anything, and this is exactly the same build that Major used earlier against Stefano on Echo. And back then, the French Zerg actually did pretty well defending this push. We'll see how Nurture handles it. Like, there's no spores at the moment. I guess the transition with the couple of... Okay. Tech Lab on a stop, but Viking anyways.
Okay, so I guess he's just going to prep that cloak, so it is going to go into Banshees eventually, but this will be interesting to see what 2 Widow Mines can do to a unsuspecting Nurcio. You just don't, again, he hasn't really seen very much, but you just don't usually expect a Widow Mine drop as a Zerg player. Pretty simple.
Nurcio? Alright, that was the worst shot ever. It could have gone way better with that right side Widow Mine. And the Widow Mines will be reloading in a couple of seconds, but probably the Spore should be around that time. It's going to be close. Maybe the left side. Okay, 7 seconds until... Yeah, still 11 seconds. We'll see if he does manage to get both mines before they reload.
Helene just was like, gotcha. Left. I was going to try and go to the natural. This Widow Mine will not get a shot off, but very close. But more importantly, the Hellions in that natural are looking for a distraction. They find one. That was pretty lined up. 2 more shots. Okay, 9. I feel like that could have been even worse, but still not a bad sacrifice of the Hellions. I do question, okay, so there's a tech up on the barracks, but he hasn't started stim yet. It's a macro mistake or...
How many spores do we have?
I think just 1. Yeah.
Those 2 Banshees could deal a tremendous amount of damage. I guess the lair is over.
Whoa.
And now he shows the Banshee. That's a little bit sad because now spores will start and probably... And Overseer also.
2 star pots.
2 star pots, sorry. Yes! Double star pots! Alright.
Oh my good god. I know that Major can play a little different, and of course he'll be the one to add on mech. Maybe mech isn't a thing to do, but to see him go for air is still surprising. I feel like I haven't seen him do this, or Terrans do it since maybe Lerlac Crest, when it made it popular for a couple of weeks.
I remember Marine Lord actually tried it against Hydra. It was at the beginning of 2016 in Katowice. He did try that strategy but lost with it. And yeah, as you mentioned, with the new patch, I haven't seen the strategy yet. The question is will the emphasis on Liberator will be as big as before, or will we see more Ravens?
Or just a lot more Banshees?
A lot more Banshees.
Banshee speed. Mind here. Oh my god, I'm losing my mind. Oh Jesus.
Lose your mind now.
Oh my good god. Okay, so the Overseer gets in here, but he might be anticipating the Liberators or Ravens as you're talking about. I don't think he's seen the extra Banshees quite yet.
Alright, those Hellions could get a little bit of damage done, but he will try to keep them alive instead. And with those double stop out with Tech Labs, there has to be something in Nurture's mind that that says alarm. Yeah, there's something going wrong. This is not a normal build, obviously, but we'll throw down the Spire, but isn't it a little bit too late? I guess the first Banshees will have time to deal a little bit of damage. Nurture, not taking any risks, will produce a little bit more spores about everywhere to defend. And now he sees those triple Banshees, and he knows, Major is going completely crazy on that 7th game.
Oh my god. Okay, so since I haven't had to talk about this in a while, I guess for you guys out there who have not seen Banshees with speed, the real kicker is that they outrun Overseers. So even if your Corruptors can finally catch them, or their Queens maybe get in a good position, they'll just fly away when their upgrade is done. And they are pretty fast, actually. And they do a lot of damage. So, 1 second you have a hatchery or a spire, the next second you just don't have any structures.
Does he look for the spire at the moment? Yeah, the Hellion drop actually gets reactivated in the north, and he will get some drones out of it. But can he find the spire? Did get a spore from what I can tell compared to the size of this building, but this is 10 drones going down at the same time. Counterattack with Zerglings and some Hellions not doing anything instead of defending their own SCVs. But this will not go further than 5, and now those Banshees will get the hatchery. 4th base will get cancelled. In a few seconds, it's gonna be Speedy Gonzalez.
Yes.
On those Banshees, look at this.
Okay, they're actually going to be taken care of before they can cancel that 4th base. We have a fusion core on the way, a 2nd armory, air weapon upgrades. Oh my god.
5 on 20.25.
8 Banshees. 8 Banshees with speed are going to take out so many structures. This is crazy. This is not something. This is like experimenting when Legacy of the Void came out type of build here. Okay, the Roaches, I don't even know what they're thinking. Go back.
No, it's not gonna go well. And those Hellions still keeping continuing to deal some damage. 11 more drones, about to be 13, 14, actually transforming them into Hellbats. And man, Nacho is just not performing at all. Like, he's building Corruptors and Roaches against a guy that's building nothing but Liberators and Hellbats.
You can't really blame the guy. Like, it's been a long time since you've seen someone go for the Sky Terran, but also this breed, the fast Banshees coming out in so many, such plentiful numbers, as well as that fast speed. So, unfortunately, this is a big deal. If Nurchio is not actually responding immediately, saying, "Okay, I know how to defend against this. I know how to beat this," he's gonna mess up on so many different fronts. He's gonna get the wrong units. He's gonna drone at the wrong time. He's gonna lose drones, of course, the Hellions.
Hellion run by actually getting reactivated on the left side. Can he get some damage done? He's actually wondering what he should do, and he will go for it. There is no spine here, only a spore, so those drones will fall down, but at the same time, probably will lose that 4th base, right? Yeah, those Corruptors will get the kill.
That actually kind of sucks here. Major isn't quite rolling in the dough despite all these drone kills. He's also taking a couple SCV losses himself. The Banshees are looking for the easy snipes. Yes, they can get out of there very quickly, but still if they accidentally run over Queens or maybe start worrying about Fungals, then that is a lot of very important units dead very quickly.
Okay, the interception is about to happen. Corruptors will cut off the path of those Banshees, and that's one then Banshee should be followed by a couple more. 2nd Banshee falls down, the other ones will remain alive.
Did the infestation pit die? I thought he was building an infestor. Okay,
all right.
Definitely didn't.
I just guess Nurchio likes to build his, his building double these days,
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know if he was... Okay, so he built Infestors. I don't think he forgot he already built an Infestation Pit, but he hasn't had his Hive yet, so I don't think it's attempted an Ultralisk Cavern. I don't know. But, alright, so 2nd one comes down. I guess following this 2nd Infestation Pit, maybe more Infestors, maybe the Hive comes down, but what's really important here is that Nurchio is not broken Major. Killing the 4th base was definitely a really good start. If Major's on 4 bases the entire time, I'm just like, oh my god, Major, you're going to win this game, aren't you? But now, it's still, up in the air, either one can win, but it is a question of, can Major get to that, like 170, I would say, plus, and suddenly the Sky Terran just looks absurd. Looks pretty good.
I'm liking that he adds quite a bit more Vikings, which obviously are not the best units in the world to destroy buildings and destroy structures and units in the ground, but will make it that the Corruptor won't be able to just go out and destroy bases as he did earlier. Now Liberator defense with some Vikings, yes, but he needs to micro quite a bit. Even the Torrent's actually dealing a tremendous amount of damage, but he needs to, unsiege those Liberators and go back a little to the, well-defended position of those Liberators.
The Banshees know the Corruptors are over here, so even if the Queens are back in position, they might still be snipable by that many Banshees. The 3rd base is just going to go ahead and go down. The Spore Crawlers are covering the wrong part. The 5th base should also... Okay, it's just going to cancel it.
I don't want to see it die. I will cancel it instantly. And now, with the the superior range, the Vikings are actually doing super well. But let's be super careful about that lonely infestor that could change anything. It's in the bottom. You can see it with a little bit of energy there. 2 fungals in his belly. And at the opposite side, Banshee's coming back, killing the hatchery again.
No extra bases for you, ever. If he could go to the other base, that would have been, really ideal. But the chances of going over the queens or over any of those infestors, I think, is too great. You lose those Banshees, you lose really all your pressure, especially since the Hellions have stopped getting their run-bys. Major actually starts building more Banshees, which I really don't know about. I think this is going to be like, do you really need 2 more Banshees to snipe the hatchery that little bit faster? Well, as I say, he loses a couple Banshees.
Only loses 1, actually got a little bit lucky on this one, I would say, but no turrets, no anything to defend with those Banshees. I guess he will bring the Vikings over, but once again, the situation with the Infestor that I mentioned earlier could be happening, but I can't see the Infestor, to be honest. I don't see where he is.
I think he forgot. I think he set it back.
It's just in the back, yeah. It's in the back, and so he's scanning quite a bit because he's paranoid about those Infestors, fungaling from below.
If that 4th base never gets down, Nurture's probably in a good position for a while, but having lost 2 bases, or I think 3 as he gets the other one canceled again, and then Major does have a 4th base, I'm really getting quite worried.
He's gonna go for the snipe. That Infestor is down. Fungal will hit all those Banshees, but at the same time, the Vikings are able to move freely, and I believe Major is taking a great engagement, taking down all those Corruptors and Roaches in the back. Major is doing... I can't believe, I just can't believe, I can't find any different words to explain what the Mexican is doing, and also what a bad thing is doing to France.
Hey, no, they're going to be the first place in the group. Now France can feel a little bit better about losing to them. That's a good thing.
Yeah, but what about losing Poland tomorrow? I don't know. The Nerocho didn't type out yet, but this is 117 supply against 168, and this is looking like a great Korean barbecue right there. 6 drones gonna go down, some bulgogi going down on the barbecue, and not that much, but I guess it doesn't matter. 40 more army supply, considering the quality of the army for Major.
This is... I'm shaking my head at Terran right now, which is usually don't do, but this has been an absurd strategy not seen too often, and certainly Nurchio is caught off guard. Really, the best way to take care of a strategy like this, or a mech strategy as well, is to identify it and then decide how you're going to play. Either macro up really strongly or try and beat them then and there. I really feel like Nurchio, he finally got a scout on what was happening. By the time he did, there's Banshees flying around everywhere, and he wasn't quite sure he wanted to take it. He went for Corruptors, but he couldn't get enough Corruptors. By the time he actually had a decent army, it was more about the Spellcasters, and that Fungal just wasn't good enough in that one fight. Major has played a really fun, great game. He's now transitioning into Ravens. He still has upgrades on the way. I didn't even notice he got +3 air attack. No wonder.
Those Banshees are actually hitting quite strong. 15 damage, ×2 with the double attack of the Banshees here. And now I believe this is not a Golden Armada. A Golden Armada is made for Protoss Mass Air. I can't...
Gray Armada.
The Gray Armada? This is not that doesn't sound super cool.
No, it doesn't.
What about the
Steel Armada?
Yeah, the Steel Armada is way better.
Cool.
See? You could do it. You had it all along. Let's see. You can even maybe snipe a little bit of those Overseer now. Sacrifice. I want to get that Infestor so bad.
There's still a couple more Infestors, but actually it might be the last Fungal right there, and he free splits. So the Liberators get Fungal and Corrosive Bile. That was pretty good by Nurchio right there. That helped out a lot. But I don't think his Corruptors can take on this army.
All right, the Corruptors will be falling down to the Vikings right there with the +3 attack and soon to be +2 defense. But he doesn't have anything to clear out anything on the ground, and I don't think he wants to lens those Vikings. That would be quite dangerous, and maybe it's time to build a little bit more starports.
Yeah, more starports. That's what we need right now.
Well, yeah.
4 more. You have 400 gas, good sir.
He only has 4 at the moment.
Yeah. I was going to maybe say, more factories, but no, it's all about the starports. I'm so wrong. Just make as many Banshees as possible.
If he finishes the game with Hellbats, I'm going to be super sad. I want to see landed Vikings destroying hatcheries. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, we want to see that proxy command center, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah. That's what I want too, but...
Maybe.
Those filthy Zergs, they cover the map in creep, and then you can't build anything,
Yeah, it's so hard. They make it so hard to BBM. Well, this game isn't over yet. Certainly taking out the Liberators of the Corrosive Bile helped a lot from at least the base going down. It survives, and Nurchio has finally as you know, he's actually been on a stable economy for a while after so many base snipes. But Major is on 5 bases. I believe these are all actual bases here. He didn't have to lift his command center in the main, so he has a couple of orbitals to replace any that do get lost. So his Helen job doesn't really do very much. And the game continues, but I just feel like Nurchio, he's got to hope for better spellcasting, basically. He's got to hope for a better fungal, get some Vipers in there as well, yeah, absolutely. If he can't get that, then I think Major's army is just a little too good.
I can hear Roddy asking for, what are these upgrades from Terran? And I believe like even Terran players can't really tell because we've got so much upgrades. But that's a really great pickup. He's going to get the fungal.
Yeah, at least he reveals 2 of the Banshees. Lol. But these ones are so weird.
One attack each.
Just get the fungal. Just get the... Why is it a fungaling? Okay, here we go. No, I was very close to killing 2 infestors.
So, we were joking around and saying that Major was about to win the game, but the way he handled the last attack maybe butchered this a little bit, gave away a couple of free units in here. So I still feel like he's in a great position because we've got a Zerg that's producing like Corruptors 2x2 and a couple of Vipers, which is not enough against that well upgraded Terran units in the air, and especially with that 5 base economy, soon to be 6. But he's still in this. Naruto is still in this.
He is, but I'm worried he doesn't actually have a concrete answer. Usually at a certain point in a game, you can identify when you have a superior army or a superior advantage positioning, but it's a little more difficult against the type of army Major has. And now he has those Ravens. We saw a couple of Sequel missiles the last time these guys played. They could be crucial.
Okay, that Viper came super close from dying here. Well, not dying in the end, but now Banshee's coming from the side, gonna try to go for a fight. Now lots of PDDs being used to the parasitic bombs from the Vipers. Bile will not connect, and those Vikings are handily winning this fight because nothing is. Nurchio types out GG. Major does it for Mexico. And yeah, never count out Mexico. And Jess, you had the perfect guess. What a boss. What a boss. But you're not as good as Major. Major! What the hell? What happened to Juanito tonight? We always knew he was such a great player and probably one of the best foreigner Terrans. Yeah. But doing this like over and over again and beating all the top-notch players.
It's about North America, all right? Like we saw Scarlet, Canada, all right? You had Neeb for America and Nathaniel's. And now it's Major for Mexico. Confirmed strongest region. Fear Dragon, I got you.
So in the end, yeah, Rotterdam voted 4-3, 4-2 for me and Todd, and the only one being right is Zombie Grub. Good job, big good job, Juanito, and I can't wait to hear from him when the interview will be ready in a couple of minutes. But for now, we'll take a look at some replays from that game 7. And that's the attack that we felt could be the end. It did get a lot of units die, like thanks to that fungal and battle.
Yeah, I think, well, it didn't actually break Nurchio. Maybe it broke his soul a little bit, you know? It's just like, well, if that didn't win, then I don't know what does. Because, you know, that last fight, the one that actually won Major the game, Nurchio had, you know, money in the bank. He could have tried playing even more, but I think he realized he didn't have the good answer against Major.
He didn't have the good answer, and some imposters, as you see, were trying to escape, but we know what happened to them, and we know what happened to Nurchio that had to tap out quite just about a couple of minutes after that, and just a great strategy. We've seen about everything from Major tonight, like from TVT action, TVP, TVZ, and so many different strategies, and going like YOLO on that game 7 with that mass air strategy that we didn't even know about, like how well he would do in that new patch. To be honest, I didn't see it before, you know?
It's been a long time since I've seen Speed Banshees, but it's also been a while since I've seen so many starports that early on in the game. I guess the last time was Nathanius versus Protoss, but that doesn't really count either, does it? And Mexico will take the 4-3. Yeah. So excited, actually, for Major, for Mexico, for the team, for the interview, I suppose. I can imagine everyone's pretty happy.
They're in the round of 8, and now just one step away from making it to Paris for a second time, because Major was part of the team that went to the Trianon in Nation Wars 2. It was the same. Even Jim Rising was in the team. The only different member is Sham here. As Will says, if Major wins today, I go out and get tacos tomorrow. Well, enjoy your Mexican food, because Now you have to go for it.
There you go.
And I don't feel bad at all. Like I really hope that it was something really bad, like that he bet something really bad. But now I know that he's just gonna be eating tacos.
It's fine. It was great, actually. It's perfect.
Well, you could have said I could be running naked in the street or something,
Eat a shoe, yeah.
Yeah, eat a shoe.
Exactly.
Never happened, by the way. I'm still waiting.
Exactly.
That he eats the shoe.
Yeah. Who was it that did that? I know we're both referencing something. Both of us can't remember what we're referencing. Like, great, fantastic.
Who's the player that said Zugaliong, I think.
Was
the
it?
One. I think it was Zugaliong that was
been.
supposed to eat the shoe. We'll take a look at the brackets so we can see how tough today was, especially for Mexico that made it through as first place, yes. But, what a, crazy set of games. 4-3 against France, 4-3 against Poland, who on the opposite side on the first game did take out Italy quite easily. But a great group, Poland, and major upsets, I would say.
Yes, pun intended, I assume. The
not
even. No, not even.
No,
all right,
not even.
then. I'll also add that another reason I was fairly confident in my score was that we have a continuation of this trend where the group name, the highest seed,
never
actually
makes it as first.
Yeah, never makes it as first. They get seconds. So once I saw that Poland was first, I was like, the other team's gonna win. It's continuing, man.
The thing is, Poland will not even take seconds.
No,
they will have to take third.
Exactly.
No, seriously, I'm really,
Italy's gonna win,
really
so.
freaking scared, to be honest. And even France versus Italy, like, I know this would be an easier conversation with Roddy because he knows about soccer, right? And
I can try and pretend.
Yeah.
Yes, soccer.
Because
yes, football, I believe. Actually,
yes, football.
Excuse
and
me.
we ate Italy. Like they stole the World Cup from us in 2006, and ever since then it's never been the same. I can't take it. If we lose tomorrow to Rainer, even though he's cute as hell, I'm gonna have to just go mental. That's for sure.
Oh man,
we can't lose.
Yeah,
we can't
that
lose.
football thing, man.
That football.
Our savior. Exactly. You want to try and sing this one?
I do think I know the song, but I'm not really sure. All I do is win no matter what. That's okay. Okay, that's it. See. Soccer, music, like everything is just
it's great.
It's
all lining up.
Not another tweet or anything. Another song that you want us to sing or something. Weird reference.
The national anthem of Mexico.
Yeah.
Got that in my back pocket. Don't worry about it.
But what a great performance by Mexico in major, and that's the thing, right? Like when you take when you compare it, the run that they're making right now, compare it to Nation Wars 2, it's quite similar. They've been always relying on major to do most of the work, but that's that changed. I think it was in quarterfinals too that eventually everybody from Team Mexico actually pulled a little bit of weight, and got a little bit of wins under their belt, and I hope they can, I'm not saying wake up because, for instance, Sham did get a win against France, and a pretty important one considering it just, smashed down Marino. Like, no, this Nation War is not going to be the same. You're going to start with 0-1.
Yeah.
Just quit it, But yeah, obviously Major to make it to, and Mexico to make it to the round 4, he will need some backup at some point.
Yeah,
he can't be Super Juanito all the way, right?
Not all the time, I suppose. Yeah, I like Cham. Yeah, he had a couple of good games. Jim Rising even showed that he has the potential to take games.
Yeah.
There's just a couple execution micro flaws here and there that really lost him the games that sometimes looked promising. So I think Team Mexico will continue to do great. I think go Team North America, Canada, USA. Actually, I guess all the
You missed the most important one.
Canada, USA, Mexico.
Go France.
The North American team, France.
Yeah,
Yes,
it doesn't matter.
them.
We don't care about the continent they're from.
Sorry.
You just have... No, I'm just kidding. Obviously, you can... Yeah, North America doing super well. Yeah, I agree with you. That's a really nice thing to say. But guys, we've been talking 4 hours. That series was amazing. I hope you enjoyed it. Now it's time to listen a little bit what the captain and the other members in Major, for instance, has to say. Let's go to the interview right now.
Thank you very much, guys. Going to be closing things out here with Roti. A pretty good night of games here, even though France got wrecked.
North America is dominating. It's been memes for years. The NA scene was one big meme, and it didn't matter whether it was USA, Canada, or Mexico. Well, all three make it out. Two of them won their group. USA got second. What a time to be alive. The North American scene is taking over, Todd.
I don't know what it is. Like, they're just performing very well, and yeah, they're unstoppable right now. We'll see if that continues, but we're with Major and Jim Rising now in the call. Can you guys hear us? Are you there?
Hello?
Hi, hello.
Hi.
All right, Major, did you expect you were going to propel your team into the round of eights with a sick performance like we've never seen before?
Well, like I've been playing good lately. I've been practicing a lot, like maybe like 40 games per day. So I was thinking like I could do it if I just play my game and try to play against the weakness of the other players. So I think we got a little bit lucky, but we managed to win.
Those 5 lemonades a meal finally gave you superpowers?
Yeah, man. You know the lemonades have powers.
Juanito, what was going through your mind on the game against Nurture the first time, whirlwind, 4-player map, and you scouted him last? How did you not mentally snap after this? It must have been really frustrating, right?
Yeah, like I just know it was a little bit unlucky. Probably I should have CVS scouted, but I was a little bit greedy, so maybe that I just think like that's why the next game I just CVS scouted. But yeah, I just was a little bit unlucky with the position, like scouting in last. But like that push, it's stoppable, like with the play I use. But I use didn't scout in time, so I use. It's like you can't defend.
But it didn't bother you at all, it seemed, because the next game you just came back and you played some fantastic Starcraft. I mean, the game on Daybreak, it was very long. I think against Mana you looked very good, so you didn't seem very bothered, right? You were just ready to dominate or something?
Yeah, I wasn't bothered because I knew like it was something I couldn't control. Well, I could have, but like I was a little regret, as I say, so I think there's something I couldn't do anything besides that.
Also, guys, sorry, go ahead.
Okay. And then the next game I just tried to focus, and even though I had like a very bad start in my opinion, that's why I had to play like very long game because I had like a really shitty start. I was playing really bad at the beginning, so I just went for the long game to win that way.
I see. Well, it was awesome to watch. Jim, where's Jim?
He's here.
Oh, he's here?
It's right here.
I think we just joined the call, so he might be added into this. I have a question for all of you guys. You played against France and Poland today. France still has to play against Italy, and then the winner of that will play against Poland tomorrow. Do you guys have a prediction on how this might go? Who do you feel will make it out in second place?
I think that I want France to get second place, but it's probably going to be Poland, but it's going to be close regardless. But I really hope that France is going to make it through over Poland.
Jim Rising?
Yo. I think I want France to win too because Poland is a very strong opponent.
I see. You know, actually, we could ask a question.
I don't know if I should say thank you or go away, but...
You know, obviously there's only 3 nations that you guys can face because you won the group. 2 of them are already known. It could be Germany, it could be USA, and there is a very good chance, obviously, that it would be South Korea as well. Which of these 3 nations do you guys think is the weakest?
I think it's about even between Germany and USA. Like, even though Germany has more players that are better, Navy is very good, like, so he counts as 2. That's why it's pretty even, I think.
What about you, Chem and Jim? Any preference?
Not really. I just don't want to play Canada or Korea.
I think it's better
Any
for
country
us
is okay.
Okay.
I think it's better. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
But Roti, I have a story.
You have a story? Then go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry, Chem, you got to wait for Jim's story.
Yeah.
I promise Mayor I will find him a girlfriend if he won. Mayor replied, okay.
Good luck.
And he told me, just look how I beat them all. That's the story.
All right. So basically now you have to install Tinder, use Major's
I'm gonna
picture
help him,
and start.
for sure.
So what
He
are you
deserves
doing?
that.
Start swiping. You need to start swiping. All right, Cham, what did you want to say? Sorry.
Yeah, I think it's better for us to fight against USA just because we only have to focus against Protoss and only one player. Because Germany and South Korea have more quality players.
What about Nathaniel's battle cruisers?
Yeah. What about Nathaniel?
It's gonna be hard, but it's pretty easy to counter it if you know it's coming.
I would love to see a clash between Jim Rising, my favorite Spanish-speaking caster, and Nathanius. Jim, would you be ready for that clash of the Titans?
Yeah, of course I will be ready.
Yeah? You think you would put Nathanius in his place?
Yeah, I think I can do it easily.
Wow, those words.
Shots fired.
Okay, Juanito, going further in the tournaments, can we expect you to keep on just bulldozing through opponents like this? Because I really think that, I thought you might play very well, but for you guys to beat Poland, that I have to say I didn't really expect. So, do you feel confident against most teams?
Yeah, I do. But it's gonna be hard regardless. The three options we have, they are gonna be hard. Especially if we get Korea, that will be extremely hard. Considering that in Korea the TBT meta is completely different, and there's two Terrans in that side. So it will be really really hard if we get them. So I hope we don't. So please get a nice hand that pulls the magic for us. And yeah, it will be, as I said, I think Germany and the USA are around the same skill level, just because Neve counts as two.
Do you focus mostly on your own practice by trying to get better, or do you also study the opponents quite a bit and try to figure out how to play against them equally?
Yeah, well, as I say, I've been practicing a lot. I practice my game, and then when I play a tournament and I know who I'm gonna play, I try to adapt my play, what I like to do, how I like to play, into what they like to do and how they like to play. So my style can work somewhat good.
Cham, I had a question for you. You've been able to post a couple of very good results lately, and I still think a lot of people probably underrate you and don't think that you are as good as you actually are. How do you rate your own performance today? Do you feel like you could have done a lot better, or where do you think it went wrong for you?
Yeah, I think people doesn't know me just because I'm not active in social media or only in tournaments, but a lot of people doesn't know me yet. I think today against France, I did an even trade for Marine Load, but I lost to Pitrogo. Mm-hmm. I feel kind of nice versus France, but against Poland I feel kind of disappointed for my performance. I was trusting a lot that wheel on Bunny that I lost. I just needed to kill the Idols, and then I had a pretty good shot. But I think me and Jim Rising are going to focus on helping Major in the round of 8 because we really want to go to Paris and do well there. Yes. So yeah, it was nice.
What's your analysis of that Vanny game against Elaser? Do you think you just, personally, I look at it and I'm like, there is not much you could have done, right? I just feel like you got really unlucky. There was a very good idea, but it just hit 20 seconds or 30 seconds too early, the Nidus. What's your take on that game?
I think I needed to put 5 more drones so that I have extra Zerlings, and also when the Nidus pop out, I had 3-second delay or 2-second delay when I shoot the Nidus, so I think I will have a better chance if I pull the drones as well. So I don't know. I will be more analyzed, I think.
So, Jim Rising, what's more important, playing a lot of ladder and getting ready, or swiping on Tinder to find a girlfriend for Major so he can play sick?
Well, I think getting a girl for Major, it's more important than playing ladder, to be honest.
Is there a standard required? Did he give you instructions, or he said any girl?
No, it has to be a 10, man. You know me.
All right, I guess we can leave it at that. Maybe give you guys one last chance to give some shout-outs to the viewers, even in Spanish, if you want to. Just Jim Rising, go first, and then Cham, and then Major. Go ahead, guys.
Gracias por apoyar a Major, muchas gracias. Y apoyar a México, muy amables.
No, Rapinel?
Te toca.
Yeah, we have a lot of support. When I look at my Twitter, I have 30 or 40 notifications. Also in Facebook, they were pretty supportive. And we're gonna return that into results. I hope in round of 8 we can go. We can win, and then we can show a great performance. And gracias a todos por apoyarnos y que nos va a ir muy bien en la ronda de 8. Gracias.
I want to thank everyone for watching and supporting us, even though they probably thought we were gonna lose. I knew we had a chance to come out of the group at least, and I hope you guys keep following us in this tournament and in the next tournaments that we play. Me and Cham, that is WESG. Gracias por apoyarnos y ojalá nos puedan seguir en WSG y en este torneo en la siguiente ronda que es. It's been playing in 2 days, right?
Yes, you do.
Okay, que jugamos en 2 días. Gracias.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, and we'll see you in 2 days.
Thank you.
Great,
Bye-bye.
thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Fun guys. Good,
Yeah.
good group of people.
Good luck to Jim Rising with those Tinder adventures.
Well, if they all he has to do is just link the VOD of today, and I'm sure the girls will be lined up. That was some sick Terran play. Who doesn't get excited over that, Todd?
Can you imagine the description?
Yeah.
Special Kitty, like all his nicknames are listed. It's like trying to build up a story right now. Really, really good bunch. Like couldn't have happened to better guys, and really happy for them. But then we still have a couple more teams to qualify. That's going to be happening tomorrow. We conclude the 3rd and 4th group of the tournament. That's going to be starting at 5 p.m. Here's the first one of those. Brazil will take on Sweden, and then the winner on Korea. And then the winner of that will be qualified through to the top 8. Pretty stacked group here, and I guess Korea is the big favorite, though.
I'm just thinking about what he would write in the profile. Like, I can pick you up in my Hellion. We can get some advanced ballistics together, and let's go. Let's make it a beautiful date.
The date will be funny, actually. He'd order 5 lemonade. She'd be like, what the hell?
No, this group is going to be awesome as well, Johan. I totally agree, because this is not the way that I predicted it. I knew it was going to be close, because Mexico, especially in Major, is just so incredibly hard to defeat. But I still thought Notre with 2 lives. I didn't think they were going to be able to do it, but they did. So tomorrow is going to be an incredibly fun day, because we're going to wrap up 2 groups.
Yeah.
So wrapping up the group of Korea and wrapping up this one as well. It's a lot of Starcraft.
And right after that, we'll do the drawing for the quarterfinals with some innocent hand. Remember last time it was Claire. She did a great job. And once we've drawn that, then the next day on Saturday, that's the quarterfinals. Same thing, starting at 5 p.m. Central European Time. That's 4 p.m. in UK. That's 11 a.m. Eastern, right?
Yeah,
it is.
That's correct.
What about Hawaii? What about West? What about Korea?
Hawaii, 5 a.m. LA, 8 a.m.
The passion.
Korea, well, Korea would be like if it's 5 p.m. here, then it's midnight Korea, no? Or 1 a.m.
Or 1 a.m., yeah. Either
like
one of those. Just go on Team Liquid. There's timers for everything.
And there's also
why do we do this to ourselves?
And there's also a Twitter
ridiculous.
account that retweets actually all the time zones, like Nation Wars SC2 on Twitter. It's going to be a lot of fun, man, the next 2 days. Tomorrow is going to be fun, but Saturday is going to be absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to see the quarterfinals, because there won't be just one player carrying each other anymore, Nate, Johan, because all these nations have people that can carry themselves, so it's going to be so much fun to watch.
Yeah, and then after that, we'll have a 2 weeks hiatus, and we'll return on the 21st with the offline finals here with the top 4 teams. I can't wait to see Major in Paris, man. It's always a sight to see this guy go around.
They actually have a chance since they won their group. They won't face the Netherlands in the quarterfinals, so they got a good shot.
Yeah, I guess. You were going to keep with the bias. No, obviously, they're not completely qualified. Yeah, I also kind of skipped that. But guys, we'll be back tomorrow at 5 p.m. concluding those 2 groups here, 5 p.m. Central European Time. So make sure you're there for some more amazing StarCraft. And for now, that's me saying good night. Roddy, I give you the final word.
Good night as well. See you guys tomorrow. Let's go.